I'm back. Welcome to the show. Second part of the show. We had a technical error here on Technology Thursday, so we're up and running again for part two. Right when I was talking about Morgellons disease and nanoparticles that are emanating from chemtrails, very serious chemtrails that keep flying over our skies, and many people are wondering why they're allowed to do this. The U.S. military is testing stratospheric balloons that ride the wind so they'll never have to come down. That's a good idea. There was a theory that we could put Wi-Fi signals up in the air. Well, I wish they would do more of that than less of the spraying in the sky, because I'm looking at the need for Wi-Fi systems. Google had a program called the Loon Project, which never got off the ground. It similar to this. They were going to send balloons up with Wi-Fi signals, and they never did that. But they're testing this stratospheric balloon that rides the wind forever. Yeah, a sensor that can spot the wind direction from miles away will let DARPA's surveillance balloons hover at the very edge of space in one spot indefinitely. That's a very cool idea. There's a major snag, though. The current balloons shift with the wind and can only stay in one area for a few days at a time. At the height of a stratospheric area, 60,000 feet, winds blow in different directions at different altitudes. In theory, it should be possible to find a wind blowing in any desired direction simply by changing altitude. But when machine learning and better data are improved navigation, that progress will be gradual. All right, so it won't be happening anytime soon. But they're looking at ways of keeping balloons in the air. No, I don't do any performances. This is all real. Hey, you're not allowed to come in here and say F to America or this or that. That's illegal. Yeah, we've got... Can we talk something other than politics? What do you want to talk about? Mental disorders, robuscules? Death toll is raging, up to 63 in the California wildfires. Wow. With over 600 reported missing? Are you serious? Wow, We Go has that story. Wowie, yeah. The problem was our XSplit was taking on too much. I've only got about 16 gigs of RAM in this computer, and that's just enough to do this. I'm sure the Trump family trio, the Trump family, has been watching the Sponheim family for centuries, yes. We're aware of the Ashkenazis and how they're penetrating our government, and the Zionist tendency of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's Jewish, you know. People don't know that. Yeah, she keeps it very, very secret. Bill, he was an Ashkenazi. I believe his father was one of the Rothschilds, Bill Clinton. There's a conspiracy theory that Bill Clinton is the illegitimate son of one of the Rothschilds. I think it was Jacob Rothschild. Just a theory. No one really knows for sure, though, because he didn't really know his dad. Okay, Raz Nation has a story about the pictures burnt of the houses. Yeah, all of these pictures look like they've been hit with a directed energy weapon. And we've been talking about that technology in our show. Look it up. Type Hillary's Jewish and see what you find. Wow. Somebody died at age 47, folks. Kim Porter has passed away. She dated rapper Diddy for 13 years and is the mother of 3 of his kids. She died at 47. What this is. At her home in California. Wow. Wow. TMZ reported that Porter had been suffering from pneumonia for several weeks. Wow. Folks, pneumonia can kill you. It's a serious, serious disorder. We lost a young lady, Kim Porter, only 47 years old, from pneumonia. Don't take chances with pneumonia. Now, if you happen to be in the line of fire of the directed energy weapons, like these poor people were, you were probably fried in your house. This is the aerial view of the neighborhood in Paradise, California, destroyed by campfire. Wow. I don't believe that these people had a chance. They were killed so quickly. Unbelievable. Robert Zelik is not. He's an Ashkenazi. Yeah, he's not Jewish. No Jewish people no Ashkenazis are actually Jewish. The Orthodox Jews are very upset about Ashkenazi claiming to be Jewish. So when we talk about Nazis, we're not talking about Jewish people. We're talking about Ashkenazis. Just get your head around that. Wrap your head around that. You'll realize that Hitler was an Ashkenazi. That's one of the reasons why they put together their Zionist plan to build a nation of Israel. But now that that's here, we're moving on. We're not going back in time. What, you did hear it? There was a strange boom seen in various TV stations around the globe today. I didn't hear it. I'm not going to vote on carbon taxes. We don't support carbon taxes here. I want innovation. I don't want a bunch of people making money on the side like the Rothschild family. They have no incentive to fix problems. They'll just buy carbon point credits with other solutions and then continue to pollute. It won't solve problems. Drunk man shouts Heil Hitler, Heil Trump. Does the Nazi salute during a Baltimore performance of Fiddler on the Roof. Wow. Let's take a look.
There'll be one Bourbon in the crowd. There'll be one Bourbon in the crowd. There'll be one Bourbon in the crowd. There'll be one Bourbon in the crowd.
Yeah, she said it all. There's always one in the crowd. Good point. So, we are in the midst of our Technology Thursday. I support Jewish people. I want you to know that no way would this be considered anti-Semitic what I'm saying. I support Israel too. But I don't support a Zionist takeover of our world. Yeah, and the Ashkenazis are up to exactly that. We're exposing the Zionists. There's no reference in the Torah, biblical reference to the Jewish people even having a state. But we respect the state of Israel. I do. And I certainly want the best for them. And I know that they've got a lot of concerns right now about people attacking them, but we can't fight their wars around them. We can't build up a huge military presence in the Middle East. I'm not going to add ground troops to the Middle East. I promise you that. If they need backup, if they're provoked, we will give them air support. So you've got to understand, being anti-Zionist is not anti-Semitic. Well, I think you're off on the wrong foot there, Milko. You better get a new name. Yeah. I support the USA. Yeah. I'm not here to service the world with funding either. I think we need to cut back our funding for a lot of our foreign donations. $50 billion a year we give. We can't exactly give it to everybody. And we have to start thinking of ways of saving money because we're over budget. Every single administration has been way over budget for a long, long time. Slash and burn, yeah. Brazil's still facing the slash and burn result of people trying to build farmland out of jungles. We're still seeing the erosion of beautiful virgin forests and fertile areas of the Amazon basin. Brazil's presidential election could mean billions of tons of additional greenhouse gases. Policies leading to more destruction of the Amazon and Cerrado would have a huge impact on climate change. We do need to deal with this issue. Part of the problem is Brazil has been starved off by the IMF. Even though they wanted to be a part of the IMF, they haven't gotten any loans and development. They keep them starved so that they're constantly at the whim of any major industrialist like Goldman Sachs, who will come in there and try to make money on this slash and burn technologies. Burning a forest that is standing there for hundreds of years to create enough ground to grow a few soybeans is ridiculous. Well, I know the Israeli troops were directly involved in the Yom Kippur fights. In 1967, the U.S. did not add air support to the Yom Kippur war. We did not give them any support, air support. Where are you getting this information? Israel won it fair and square. We did turn a blind eye to the USS Liberty when our country was hit and 35 soldiers were killed, many more injured when Israel struck our plane or our vessel, the USS Liberty, that was out in the waters with spy capabilities. Yeah, we were spying on them. That's right. Israel took them out. We should have done something. We should never have just sat there. We could have retaliated. I know, and I'm concerned about that. But we didn't aid them in the Yom Kippur War. They used their own jets to fight off 7 nations attacking them. But I have a lot of respect for Israel. I do. But I don't want to cater to the Zionists that are now trying to, their agenda is much bigger than Israel. Their agenda is global world order, a new world order. They have no concern now about having a place in Jerusalem. They got that already. Now they have bigger goals. That's because we're dealing with people who are like Ashkenazis, who are greedy and want more. I think you're dealing with pure greed. We have to wrestle this greed to the ground and stop it, because it's hurting the world in general by creating a plan like a new world order. Believe me, if we were all left alone to our own invention, we'd probably be fine. But this notion that they want to constantly create a new world order is costing us. Now, today's stock market is it's a bounce back of 208 points to 25,289, but yesterday was a drop of 200 points. So it's up and down in big ways on the stock market now. The Dow Jones 25,289, up 208 points. The Council on Foreign Relations preceded the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission was forged out of the Council on Foreign Relations' primary policies, and their agenda has been Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. Well, you'll be able to call in on Skype in 1 hour when I hook up the Skype system. If you're from the UK, you'll have a Skype lead we'll give you to talk. We are looking for real questions. Okay, a California wildfires town evacuation plan is raising questions. Yeah, how did these people all burn to death so quickly? Well, the answer to your question is pretty simple. They were burned with a directed energy weapon. They had no time. 10 years ago, 2 wildfires advanced on Paradise. Residents jumped into their vehicles to flee and got stuck in gridlock. That led authorities to devise a staggering evacuation plan, one that they used when fires came again last week. But Paradise carefully laid plans quickly devolved into a panicked exodus on November 8th. Some survivors said that by the time they got the warnings, the flames were already extremely close and they barely escaped with their lives. Others said they received no warnings at all. Now, with at least 63 people dead and more than 630 unaccounted for in the nation's deadliest wildfire in history. Look at this. And you'll notice that some of the trees are standing. Now, that's not normal. That is not normal when you see trees standing in these fires. These fires are burned to the crisp. Carbonized. Everything is looks like a 3,000 degree burn. Normal forest fires and house fires burn at about 1,300 degrees. That's why the fire ratings on most safes that you buy at the store are at 1,500 degrees. These burned at 3,000 degrees, just like the ones last year. So I'm of the belief, and you can deny whatever you want, I just watched Above Majestic. We just saw the whole series this past week, Guest 226. Part 1 and Part 2. I split it into 2 evenings. It was a very good video. We're not grasping at straws here, and I'm muting you for that reason. The only answer as to why these people got stuck in their houses and burned to death is explained by directed energy weapons. This is what happens when coastlines are hit with chemtrails, evaporation occurs, dehydration occurs, is ripe for a fire in California. Look at all the chemtrails they did over the coast of California. These are just simple pictures. These fires can start with an electrical dysfunction, but more realistically, they've been hit with directed energy weapons from this vehicle, a Lockheed Martin plane that can fly overhead and burn everything underneath. This is not a condensation, or these are not contrails, these are chemtrails. And these are directed energy weapons right there. That's a direct energy weapon that could burn things like this Athens fire, where the whole area was completely burned to a crisp. Not really. No, this is not explained through fire dynamics. Trees don't necessarily stand next to a standard fire that hits an area that's dry as a bone. The only way the trees can stand in these fires, behind you see this tree standing and the buildings are burnt to a crisp. The only way that can happen is with a directed energy weapon. That's why a lot of these have plastic barrels sitting out, just like in a microwave. You can put plastic in a microwave, it won't burn, unless there's nothing in it. Well, upon close examination, you won't find any metal in there. Most of it will be burned to a crisp. Okay, we got a shocking piece of evidence coming out of 153news.net. Shocking.
We have a Jewish senator sponsors law to imprison Americans for criticizing Israel, for criticizing a country. So people have been protesting to stop aid to Israel because we pay $10 million a day to Israel, and the war crimes that they're committing, and then putting us in the middle of this, and it's disgusting. So Democratic Jewish Senator from Maryland, Benjamin Cardin, has introduced Senate Resolution 720, also known as the Israeli Anti-Boycott Act. It was co-sponsored by the Jewish senator from New York, Chuck Schumer.
Right, they're trying to get ahead of any legislation that might want people to not support funding $3.5 to $4 billion a year to Israel. The anti-boycott law, I don't think that this is illegal, because if we start paying Israel $4 billion a year, they wouldn't have enough money to finance their immigration system. Now, when people move to Israel from America, for instance, they automatically get $30,000 or $35,000 a year. And that comes from American donations. And I don't mean AIPAC money. I mean, there's our government's giving them $4 billion a year to pay people to move to Israel and live virtually with a free check every single month. I knew a guy who did it. Okay, I'm holding your calls. Well, the phone is available if you want to call in. Actually, let's see if I have it. Okay, call's up. Go ahead. David, who would want to move to hell on earth Israel? I knew a guy who lived, who's been there ever since. He moved from California. He was an Ashkenazi. He was Russian Ashkenazi, claimed he was Jewish. He moved there and became very happy, found a wife. He was kind of an Orthodox in his mind. He wanted to, really get into learning Hebrew. He really loved it. He'd been to a kibbutz, and he enjoyed it so much he went back. Anyway, they pay him $30,000 a year. All they have to do is carry a gun and learn Hebrew. They do No, she's not in yet.
Larry from Yorkshire.
No, Larry, I'm sorry. I'm not taking your call. You sound too much like that person imitating Cherry. Yes, Larry. So sorry. You should try not to say do because it looks bad. Why? Directed energy weapons are what they're called. Why don't I call them do? I mean, why not? Well, if you're wondering why the Earth is going through all kinds of climate changes, it's because they're able to actually create hurricanes using the combined effort of heavy metals in the sky with chemicals, phased array radar, and the ability to create these turning points. They triangulate the phased array radar. It moves in a direction that creates a spin, and they can create a hurricane out of this. It's that simple. They can also dehydrate California. I mean, Scissorfight has had absolutely no rain, hardly at all. Maybe a little rain in over a year. And he lives in California. You can click to join the broadcast at iBlog if you want and be a part of our show. So do the do, that is kind of like a trademarked expression from Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, people who drink Mountain Dew usually lose their teeth. So if you're a big Mountain Dew person, you'll probably lose your teeth by 25. Amazon, MIT Review, thanks for the link, Raz Nation. MIT Technology Review. Amazon is the invisible backbone behind ICE's immigration crackdown. Lobbying dollars and cozy relationship with the government have given the tech giant outside influence in the Department of Homeland Security. When they started separating migrant children from their parents in June, ICE had several tech companies came under fire for providing the agency with the software that helped them do it. Wow, and Amazon was right in there helping. The ICE arrests increased 42% compared to the same period in the previous year. Yeah, ICE is able to pull together all the motels in the country so they can read from who's in the motels. They can crack down on people who are in a motel because they have to show their ID, and they may be illegal aliens. Sarah will be in a little bit later. She's doing a big thing at her school, so she's coming in when she makes it. Yeah. You're so Ned, brah. Well, it doesn't take a lot to see that they've carved a line down the coastline of California and burning fires left and right. It could easily be started with a directed energy weapon. And when you add to this mix the story of this possibility that this entire line of fires goes along the same line as the rail line that they want to put in. So the argument that they're just purposely burning, etching their way down the coast is very real. Yeah, it's entirely possible he started with a directed energy weapon. So it's not a stretch for me to think that. And this theory is very real. It's these are not just random forest fires, as the news wants us to believe. They are purposed. That's right. But notice all of these major fires follow the path of the bullet train. Research the Santa Rosa fires closely, and you'll soon find out that they were directed energy weapons caused by Lockheed Martin's Athena directed energy weapons on the nose of the plane. So this directed energy weapon, Athena, has the ability to do just that. Yeah. Need I say more? You're just not willing to accept the fact that you're being attacked by your own government. Burning rapid, undetectable, super high heat fire, aka brush. You're clinging to the belief that you just can't possibly imagine somebody using a weapon to burn any area of California. You're probably one of those people that denies that they're spraying chemicals above you in the skies. Yeah, so you're in total denial land, dude. Okay, Donald Trump is becoming the laughing stock of Twitter over the envy of the world boast. So apparently he's still saying that we're the envy of the world, and people are still making fun of him. Take it from an outsider. We feel sorry for Americans. This is from Huffington Post. Trump is not only aware of the chemtrails, Howie Long, everybody, big football player. Trump is not only aware of the chemtrails, his uncle John Trump was a nuclear engineer that worked with Tesla's technologies that are able to use the chemtrails combined with phased array radar to create weather pattern changes. It's totally connected.
To accept 1%.
That's a fake picture. Paste up. Hey, what's your question? Go ahead.
Hello, David. It's Cletus calling.
Satan calling? Hang on, I've got a helicopter overhead. Hold on. They're flying me
My
with
name is Cletus, David.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Hello? Your name is Cletus. Hi, Cletus. What's your question, Cletus?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
the moon.
Yep.
Can you elaborate on what that is?
Right. Operation Shoot the Moon is a secret operation that I just heard about it through an online source that said that it is a plan by the government to make us all think that because it's hard to prove we went to the moon, they want us to think that the Earth is flat now. So they got a lot of people Googling flat Earth all over the place. They're showing also how effective their brainwashing is on the population. It's a test. How effective the chemicals are that are dumbing us down, how effective their media propaganda is in getting us to believe that the Earth is flat. It's a simple plan to kind of divert our attention.
Thought of that theory, David. I have not heard of this. I've heard of the flat Earth.
Yeah.
I've heard of the hollow hoax, but I never heard about Operation Shoot the Moon.
Yeah, well, Operation Shoot the Moon is the hollow hoax flat Earth theory. They're trying to make you think that everything you learned is fake. They want everyone to rewrite whatever's true and whatever's fake. They're using fake news to their benefit. When we see things like the recent shooting in Thousand Hoax and wonder where's the evidence, they would say this is an absolutely true terrorist attack. We would say where's the evidence? So that's fake news. All these terrorist attacks are fake news, but the Operation Shoot the Moon is designed to take credible questions people have about the moon landing and try to turn you into a flat earther. It's pretty slick move to make you look like an idiot at the dinner table. But there's very little evidence that we went to the moon. Very little. In fact, NASA lost all of the telemetry data, and every single thing that we had from the moon landing had to be pieced together from NBC, ABC, and CBS video loops. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Now, we had technology that would make amazing rockets at the time. The Saturn rockets were the largest rockets ever made. But did we really get out of the atmosphere? And you have to ask yourself, well, if they're willing to lie to us at a high level, why did one of the last flights to the moon include a fake blast off of the lunar module? Look at this. This is from Apollo 17.
Port stage, push. Mission arm is destined. Okay, I'm going to get the pro. 99, proceeded. 3, 2, 1. Ignition. We're on our way, Houston. Vector grid. Ag thought.
Okay, we're on our way to lying to the American people. Okay, so Scissor Fight asked the question, well, who's on the ground taking the picture? It's totally fake. That's a moon picture. That's the actual moon landing vehicle going back up to the mother vehicle. And that was the last flight they did, Apollo 17. It looks so fake, it's unbelievable. So if they're willing to fake us out, and we haven't been back in 50 years, then you apply a standard in logic called Occam's razor. And the most likely answer is the answer. We never went to start with. That's why we never went back. It was just a big ego trip that Richard Nixon was on, and he wanted to make us think that he was the greatest president on Earth, and we somehow landed on the moon. Kind of sucks to think that we're being lied to on a daily basis by our government. This is why we need a new political party. This and a lot of other questions are not being answered. That's right. You asked the question too. Techwalla asked it similarly. Not Scissor Fight asked the question. Techwalla asked the question as well. Who is filming it? I asked the question. Who is filming it? We all asked the question, Techwalla. You're not the only one. Scissor Fight's not the only one. I asked the question. I just made it so he felt like, he had a very important question. I think it is an important question. You can't lose what you don't have. NASA. That's right. So a lot of us are going through this crisis of the truth versus fakery. And when things happen like, events happen like people die and we never see any bodies or blood, like in the Thousand Oaks shooting recently, or the one before that, the Pittsburgh synagogue Tree of Life shooting, where the synagogue was under had major legal problems because one of their rabbis cut off a little boy's penis in a circumcision operation. Oh yeah. So they had a lot of litigatory problems, financial problems to deal with. Then they claimed that all 11 older men who were in their 90s all died in the shooting. 12 shots. Excuse me, and the more recent one, Thousand Hoax, the guy had 12 shots and 12 people died. The likelihood of that person landing a deadly kill in every single shot is highly unlikely. Everything reeks of false flag. So if they're willing to lie to you about the moon landing, they're of course going to be willing to lie to you about terrorist attacks. That's fake news. But the Russian involvement, Trump's connection with all the money oligarchs and all the Zionist funding that went into Trump's campaign, that's real news. That's not a hoax. That's real. So I guess we're here to talk about whether it's real or fake every night when we come in here. That's why I'm kind of coming up with a concept that I'd like to keep pushing forward called the Media Verification Alliance. I'd like to find out if things are true, and I'd like to see people actually go to autopsies and see bodies. I don't think that we can trust that any of this is real. We certainly can't trust police officers that laugh, like many of the police officers and police chiefs that talk about these things are laughing when they're talking about them. We have video of that.
You got
But I don't have it right now in front of me. We played it a couple times already. How can I sue? Who can I sue for your circumcision? I don't think you can. Your parents had total control of your body up until the age of 18. They made decisions about your body that you didn't get the chance to pipe in on. So your parents, you could probably sue your parents, but I think they had total control of your body when you were born. Yeah. You can try to be honest. We aren't allowed to be on the moon? No, we just never went to the moon. There was no footage. They never had any footage. NASA said they lost all of their video coverage of the moon landing and all the data. You've experienced a circumcision? Okay. Or autopsy. Your mom didn't do it at birth, and at 13 you chose to do it. Oh, I chose to do it. Okay. Well, that's a very big thing for you to say, Raz Nation. I remember that that show on TV. It was a series that called Shameless, the U.S. version, where the boy did it at 13. He saved up enough money and did it just like you did, and you were mad at her for not doing it. I get it. Yeah. Well, it's a lot more painful when you do it later in life. But you're happier now, and that's great. I'm glad you're sharing your true story. But apparently it's a problem because if you get excited and after a surgery, it can break the surgeon's stitches, and that would be bad. And they made a big joke about it in the movie Shameless. It actually was a very it's not funny, but it's something that they made a big thing about it. Yeah. Well, it is something that many people are concerned about. I'm glad that the Tree of Life is being sued by the family. Apparently it took 8 hours for the boy's penis to be reattached, but highly unlikely he'll ever have pleasure in his frenulum. Yeah. So it's not something that's going to end real well for anybody. Yeah, having a severed penis is a very bad thing for your future sexual life. The reattachment surgery was, never going to be perfect. I'm afraid we have somebody trying to pose in the chat room down there. Okay, Thousand Oaks bar shooting. These are the victims, right? Somebody did a research of all the people in that area, and they couldn't find their names. Nobody in that area by that name. And this is also true of the Sutherland church shooting, the Pulse nightclub shooting, the Charleston shooting. Well, the Charleston shooting is the only shooting in the history of shootings in 2015 where anyone actually saw one of the bodies. It was an open casket, and they actually had a chance to see the one person, and he didn't exactly look like. Yeah, these are the victims. Hang on. It looked like a wax dummy. Yeah, none of these have had open casket funerals. Kaufman's death was confirmed to the media on Thursday. No confirmation on my end. I've never seen a death certificate. Alina Housley, 18, was confirmed Tuesday by her aunt and uncle. They were devastated with the news. Our hearts are broken. Well, again, we need to see death certificates for all these people to really close the case. So as soon as you present the death certificates, I'll be willing to accept that they died there. In the meantime, we have footage of 24 minutes of footage of that location. Not one single emergency vehicle left that location. We've got both angles covered with videotape on both sides. I've been doing some background work with Media Verification Alliance that I'm putting together, and we need to see blood. They said the gore was so bad in the theater itself that it was just blood everywhere. We saw a picture of the theater. It was abandoned, and there was no blood in it. We did see the picture of the theater, and there was no evidence of anyone being shot. So if they're going to sit here and lie to you, there's going to be some legal justification for it. Well, it turns out they're allowed to lie to you. These are the 3 stages of truth, by the way: ridicule, violent opposition, and acceptance. But they're allowed to lie to you as of 2012, when Barack Obama, the New World Order puppet Zionist president, passed the NDAA 2012 law, National Defense Authorization Law. In it, they suspended the Smith-Mundt Act, which was designed in 1946 to prevent the government from propagandizing and lying. So they are allowed to lie to you now in the interest of helping their agenda, which is gun control. So the truth is, they are able to lie to you. They can lie anytime they want. It's something that they're perfectly capable of doing, and it's not going to change anything anytime soon. So because the government's been allowed to do this and the 2 parties did nothing to stop this, hey Shadow, how you doing, man? Well, I haven't heard you call recently, Shadow. I've got the phone, it's available, and you haven't called, so. Okay. Yeah, well, I give you more information about this, but the Smith-Mundt Act is the act that was designed to prevent the government from lying to you. And they've been able to pull this off, no problem, ever since. And Trump signed NDAA 2018 into law, which has the same article in it. They're perfectly capable of lying anytime they want. No problem. Okay, here is a wax image of the pastor that died. This is the only person that's ever had an open casket from all of these 50 terrorist attacks since 2010. And it turns out his ear is 1 inch lower than it should be. So this is a classic proof of a wax image. No, it's a wax dummy with his ear placed lower than his normal position. Plus, there's an abnormality on the skull itself, which I can't show you. Because this entire site that presented this story has been scrubbed from the internet. And the only way I can show you this picture is it's the only thing left. It's a screen grab off of a thumbnail on a search engine. Everything else has been scrubbed. So why would the government scrub pictures of this guy's skull? The only person to go open casket out of all of these terrorist acts, and it's a wax dummy. It's not Randy Jackson. No. His eyebrows are different than Randy Jackson. Well, if you're having a hard time with making any conclusion at all because you don't need evidence, it's because you don't need evidence in your mind. Many of you are coming to conclusions by just listening to people going, "Oh, really? Oh, I heard that on TV, so that's just fake news." You're not able to come up with any solid thoughts in your head because you don't have critical thinking ability. It's been burned out of your brain. Now, thankfully, Zetterbeard is here smoking a little of the vape, and he's able to see clearly. He's opened up his mind. That vape is clearing his thought process. Yeah, good question. Why was he smiling? This guy's smiling. It's definitely alert. Yeah, you're right. Why would a man be smiling when he's dead? Because it's a wax dummy, that's why. No, that's not a crack pipe. He's vaping something. Now, Raz Nation is using a technology called a water pipe. He loaded the bowl there he packed the bowl with a little bit of herb, and he's smoking his herb through a water pipe. Now, we have no evidence that this is marijuana. Bear in mind, this could be any type of herb like oregano or eucalyptus or something. Well, Howie, the fact that you're not able to take on the idea that your government's lying to you means that you're not ready to jump into the category of third party. So you need to keep voting Democrat or Republican and watch the world fall apart. Yeah, so if you want to keep voting third party, go right ahead, and just realize that when the world collapses around you and everything all goes to pieces and you get zip-tied and sent to FEMA camps, that you had an opportunity to stand up against this, and you didn't. Just realize that you were sitting here like a numbskull and not listening to what I said, and just basically accepted your fate as a moron destined to be a FEMA camp victim. Okay, well, you have a complete ridiculous question, and I'm not going to allow it in the room. Yeah, your evidence of your being here, Melko, is extremely disturbing here. We've asked you to leave. You don't understand how it's possible that Donald Trump, being so stupid, had to steal my ideas to get seen and known as a guy with new ideas. That you think somehow just because he stole my ideas, that gives him some level of intelligence. That's the stupidity behind your statement. Even your statement, your question, embodies stupidity. Well, I'm sorry for you. You'll have to be muted as well. Trump stole over 20 of my ideas, and it's not that it takes intelligence to steal ideas. It just takes somebody to look at the world. 1 billion people are watching me every night on the internet, on UHF and VHF. 1 billion people. Of course Trump would steal my ideas. I'm being suppressed and censored in the media left and right, and he's handpicking my ideas, acting like they're his. It's ridiculous to think that that isn't happening, or that Trump somehow has a brain because he recognizes my ideas as being good. Just look at the numbers. People are responding to my views. People are responding to my ideas. It's almost like the attrition of intelligence is reaching its greatest point before it's shut down and censored. So having them stealing my ideas is better than me not having ideas stolen. It's actually, I can honestly say I probably influenced this election in 2016 just as much as the Russians, but I can legally influence the election. They can't. Rigging elections is not the future. My future will be predicated on honest elections. We need to get this thing out of control. Florida is a joke. We've had since the hanging chads of Al Gore and George W. Bush to fix this. That's why it's not getting fixed. I'd be great as a president, and it would be one hell of a ride. I agree, Steve. And I'm ramped up to do that. You see, my voice, if it was directed in the right place, would break apart the status quo. I'm an iconoclast, a free thinker, and there's nothing they can do to stop the power that I'm generating and the buzz that I'm generating with these great ideas. That's the important thing here. Now, technology is not exactly moving in the right direction. We've got very little growth in production in new technologies. We've got great people working on solar panel production, but they're not getting jobs. They're not getting the funding they need. We've got solar panels right now being produced by our government that should be mass produced. We could easily pull these things off and send them out there. The Army Corps of Engineers is working on solar panels like this that you can roll out. Why wouldn't we be mass producing these things? You see the disconnect here? The government doesn't even think about building its own production cycle. That's how stupid they are. That's why Barack Obama and Donald Trump have both jobbed out NASA to private enterprise like Virgin Galactic and SpaceX. They're never going to do anything. Virgin Galactic's never going to get out of the ionosphere. They're never going to do anything. How long have they been late on their project? Virgin Galactic was supposed to be flying around the Earth by now. They were supposed to have their maiden voyage 2 years ago. It's absurd. Yet here we are sitting on solar panel production out of the Army Corps of Engineers that could be on every house in America. Tell me there's not a disconnect here. Our government officials are stupid, myopic, tunnel vision morons that just don't understand what we need to do and how to make it happen. 815 false claims, staggering lies. The staggering scale of Donald Trump's pre-midterm dishonesty. The Star has it, thestar.com. It took Donald Trump until the 286th day of his presidency to make 815 false claims. He just made another 815 claims in a month. So no one questions this guy, and nobody in his administration questions him, or you're fired. In 31 days leading up to the midterm elections on November 6th, Trump went on a lying spree like we have never seen before, even from him. An outrageous barrage of serial dishonesty in which he obliterated all of his old records. Trump made 664 false claims in October. That would double his previous record for a calendar month in August of 320. Look at his false claims keep growing and growing as he gets deeper and deeper in his lies. Wow. That is amazing. What a great statistic. But he didn't just have quantity. He packed his rally speeches with new big lies, big new lies, repeatedly reciting wildly inaccurate claims about migrants, Democrats' view on immigration and health care, and his own record. You know, the last person that lied this much in history is Adolf Hitler. And that's saying a lot. Trump actually read Adolf Hitler's speeches every night before he went to bed, according to a deposition his wife Ivana said in their divorce proceeding. Isn't that interesting? Many people didn't know he could read, but he has like a 4th grade reading ability, so you can apparently read Adolf Hitler's speeches with a 4th grade reading ability. FCC launches another 7,500 new satellites, boosting connectivity. Yeah. That's ridiculous. We've already got bandwidth opened up from the analog signal. We don't even need that. All right, whatever. The 5G network is too much, untested, unsafe, and engaging in something that could very well be, yeah. Somebody took a picture of the guy handing out money to all the illegal aliens. And he was fully armed with a full automatic weapon. Look at that. They were handing out money to people in the line of the caravan of people coming up here. He's carrying a piece. I'll be darned. Okay, and we've got a little video I'm going to play you, a 2-minute video on inverted cross on the pedo priest for sex abuse fund ad. Very bizarre stuff. Everyone's wondering, why hasn't Pope Francis prosecuted any of the pastors, including Cardinal McCarrick, who's allegedly having had pedophilic relations with a little boy, 2 boys? Yeah. Well, it's time to ask the question, why is Pope Francis still in charge of the church, and how come we haven't arrested these pedo priests? I don't know. This looks pretty damning to me. Let's take a look at what we have here. I will be right back as we play this video for you. I'm going to be watching it in the back, but I have to do something. See you in a bit.
So I'm going to upload this, guys, when I get home at 3 o'clock, all right, after I get out of work. But you can see right there the blatant inverted cross on the priest's chest. And if you look at it, it is inverted. Okay, just look at the middle. It's totally different. Let's zoom in. Look at it. You see the difference? It's an inverted cross on his chest. Okay. New Church Abuse Victim Compensation Fund. Instant application, private settlements. And you see underneath the picture of Fox News where the little girl's face is? churchabuse.com. You guys can go read it. So, as I got this from my friend, I then showed him the other stuff. I showed you guys what I showed in the video this morning. I sent this to Spade. He said how blatant and disgusting this is. And I said, dude, go Google what I showed you guys this morning. I said, Google Baltimore Catholic Bishop Conference. And he gets this. Bang. And he screenshots this and sends it to me. U.S. Catholic bishops leave Baltimore Conference without acting on sex abuse reforms, leaving their most closely watched gathering in years without acting to address the sex abuse report. And look at it below it. Pope Francis quits stalling. Gee, you know, I showed you guys who's running the funds, where it's coming from. I've worked on this since I've been seeing it. I've been shut down. It's coming out of, you can see down there, 7 Roman Catholic dioceses in Pennsylvania, including Philadelphia and good old Pittsburgh. Okay? And you got your damage control by the news, the Zionist Jews, your Jesuits, including Trump and all his freaking puppets. Okay? Everybody, they're all Jesuit educated. All right? And that's how it works. Inverted cross over the cup. Okay? On his chest, the picture looks old as shit. Standing there with the little girl. This is so sick. You guys can go to the link, churchabuse.com. Go look at their shit. Read it. It's disgusting. It is to shut them up. And I showed it to you. They shut down the lawsuits for the Catholic Church. All right? And again, this is going on right now. And that actually took place yesterday, which was Wednesday. Today's Thursday. And what did I show you Monday, Tuesday? Right? Going into all that shit. Showing the victims' funds, all that crap. Right? It's sick. It is over the top sick. Later, guys.
All right, hello, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I was wearing a green shirt, so I had like a little bleed through there. It's time to listen to some 2018 rap. Yeah, that's like just people talking. I'm not pre-recorded. Raz Nation. It is November 15th, 2018 at 7:45 p.m. That is the time right now, according to my computer. So if you're not watching this on November 15th, then it's pre-recorded. I was on a meeting with a new boyfriend. I was working. Tonight we had a special night, so meaning special night for families where they came in and like learned about things that we do at school. I have a couple of those a year, so. You're on UHF? You're behind. Okay, haha. Hello, Ticken. Alright, how was David? I did not catch that video, like, literally when it stopped. I had walked, like, when that video was on, I came into the show, or came into the door, into the house, so I don't have any of that. No, I only have one boyfriend. His name is David Sponheim. You might know him. Shh. Nope. Ow. Ow. Okay. No, it's lovely. It's fun. Actually, I taught people how to use a green screen tonight, which was pretty cool. David's my side piece. What does that even mean, Jim Brewski? I don't even know. Queens Assemblyman introduces legislation to block Amazon subsidies in favor of student debt relief. Okay. Yeah, they shouldn't have Amazon. I agree. Good job, Queens Assemblyman. Wherever you are. It's true, the numbers don't add up. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 2 = 4. 3 + 3 = 6. All of those are even numbers. That's actually one way to prove a number is even. If you can add the same numbers, 2 of the same numbers together, then it's an even number. Hello, Artie. I do not have an open relationship. Are you kidding? Have you met David? David's definitely not a cuck or anything like that. Would I be mad if David made an exact clone of me without my permission? No, I would actually be pretty happy. I would wonder if, like, the clone of me then would like our consciousnesses, would our consciousness meld, and like I'd be aware of the clone and the clone would be aware of me? Thank you, Scissor Fight. No, Raz Nation, not that way. With this second, Sarah? Oh, would I allow David to continue to have a relationship with a clone of me? Yes, absolutely. I don't think David would ever want to do that, Berenstein Bear. At least not with Mark. Maybe with someone else. Yes, ATP 3030, I would. Yeah, I know, it seems normal for older people to do that. It's one way to spice up their life. I think there's even a Netflix show about it called Wanderlust. Anyway. But we don't need that. I just need more time. And less time with, like, the thing about it is, David, I have my obligations, work, school, whatnot, and David has his obligations, the show, and cooking, and cleaning the house, and lots of other things. Anyway, so sometimes it's difficult to find time together. And now that David has the show, when we do have time together, guess what David talks about? Yes, I already said that. Yes, ATP 3030. He talks about the show. Well, I have school, during the school year, I'm usually on from like 8 in the morning until at least 4 in the afternoon. Well, most people would be that way, but I seem to take more time, so we're usually gone from 8 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon. And then not to mention things I bring home, like homework. Yeah, talking to you, Steve WV, takes some time. He has a full-time yeah, but okay, I know everything after but. Yeah. Spice up his life so then I could bring him back down to earth. Well, it's really hard to discuss the show all the time. Wait, what, Ticken? There's a Waymo driverless car? Not a Waymo one, but other ones I might trust. Women need a certain amount of sleep each night. Women need, contrary to David's belief, I think women need a certain amount of chocolate. Oh, is it usually okay? Not that. He does a good job of massaging my legs and my upper back, which is great because my upper back was. I have not been sleeping well this last week. I almost think I just have not. Yeah, I would say it's pretty healthy. How about yours? I do not like mock lobster. Do not like it at all. I don't like mock crab. Ugh. I love crab, but I don't like mock crab. Oh. Did he make a mock lobster or something or other? And so is Sleep 700. Thanks. I know David likes his mock lobster. He didn't use a lobster can, he used something else instead. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Actually, I did already eat. I had a taco. That was like, yeah. So good. Oh, he made it with canned salmon. Well, canned salmon is better, in my opinion, than mock lobster. I actually do like canned salmon. It's okay. I was gone that long? I'm missing out on David's special treat. It's not as good as... I agree that canned salmon is not as good as fresh salmon, but it's not bad. You can hear the helicopter, yeah. Fell out of the pan into the bowl. He does that. Does he make like a big bowl?
Yeah, I was telling people how the Cadillac is the only driverless system that actually watches people to see if you're actually looking at the road.
Oh, okay.
So they won the award this year from, I think it was Motor Trend.
Uh-huh.
So Cadillac is actually performing better than Tesla in this department, which is interesting.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
really
I'm going to
good.
get into the VPN, and then I will start the Skype show at 8-ish.
Thank you. Okay, David's getting... You heard him. I don't need to repeat that. All right. Some robots are scary and some robots are cool, Eric. It all depends on the robots. That's what I think. I'm a good reader too. So it's like I'm listening because I'm reading what you say and then I respond to it.
I'll take that.
Okay. I'll let him take that.
Yes, can I help you? Go ahead. What's your question?
You watch trains?
Hello? No, not a real call.
Not a
we
real
expect
call.
real calls, and we don't get them.
I know, I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. We'll keep
I
expecting.
guess I'll check out the news.
Yeah, Trump is just really something else. He's
It's going to a hand recount in the Florida race. Broward misses the machine recount deadline by 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it seems that the Florida problems have never been ironed out after the hanging Chad with Al Gore, and it seems that they've still got problems, big problems. Florida just can't get their voting act together.
Yeah, I have my own phone.
Yeah, I think we should probably look for new phones because these are about on their last leg, and the batteries are about ready to go. So I think we'll do
I
that
was
this-
thinking of other phones, but then they're like, if you want phones like that for like 4 of them, it's $80 or something.
We just need 2 phones, really. So
Yeah.
I'm still looking. We'll look at the when we go out. We'll look for that. All right, I'll be back. Thank you.
And that campfire in California,
They got
there's
600 people missing and like 68 people now dead.
63, yeah.
60. It's just crazy. 600 people are still missing.
Yeah. Democrats have made one thing very clear about 2020. They're over white men. all these women they elected, minorities, something like that. Gonna clean chat, no consumerism. Good. Okay, I will, NRT. Thanks for the heads up. I will.
Now, this new AG, this new Attorney General, has Matthew Whitaker hasn't said anything, but Lindsey Graham is speaking for him, saying that he approves of Mueller's handling of the case so far. So the guy hasn't even said anything, and people are talking for him right now. Like Lindsey Graham is saying that he approves, Whitaker approves of Mueller's job so far. It seems like nobody knows what they're doing at the AG office. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. A raw diet, raw meat, eggs, and raw dairy? What? I don't know if I could do that. Yeah, that just sounds bizarre to me. I don't think I would be on that kind of diet. But I don't drink and smoke all day, that's true. I do sometimes have some chocolate now and then. Wow. There's some Dartmouth professors that are accused of sexual abuse by 7 women in a lawsuit. Yeah, we're omnivores, not carnivores. Yeah, he did always say, that's very true, Hevia. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. All right. I will be cooking on Thanksgiving. I will be cooking Thanksgiving dinner, but it won't be live. It will be pre-recorded, and then we will record it, and then we'll show it. You're surprised I'm surprised that about something. After a month on the road, hundreds of caravan travelers find they're unwelcome in Tijuana. Wow. Protesters, residents in the upscale Playa de Tijuana district protested the migrants' presence. They had fighting between locals and the Central American caravan members. There's a midday today, 500 migrants had registered at a sports complex, which can hold about 1,000 people. Wow, but there's going to 5,000 people in the caravan? No, 940. I think we're actually more, we're omnivores, so we're just as likely to eat fruits and vegetables and plants than we are animals. And that's cute, ticking. Yeah, do they want a fire, inferno, a desert, or a cold climate? Yeah. They were also struck by the high fencing along the border, at times consisting of 2 or 3 layers of metal barriers of various sizes. They were surprised that we have a border wall. And the large contingent, they were like, wow, and you guys have U.S. Border Patrol officers. I didn't expect it to be like this, one of the Hondurans said. It looks like something on TV. Well, what did you expect? It looks like something on TV. Gee, where do you think they filmed that? On the border? Oh. One farmer from Honduras said, "We didn't come here to cause any problems. I just wanted to find work in the United States and send home money to my family." Yeah, I guess I do, huh? We're just passing through. we're going to get in line at the border and present ourselves legally. Hopefully the American president will find it in his heart to let us in. I guess they haven't been watching the TV. You've been to the border on Imperial Beach? I have not. And you're feeling good? You make me go. That's good. Whatever works for you. If your pure carnivore diet works for you, good job. It's 70 degrees right now in Florida. And there's no income tax, state income tax in Florida. Yeah, we can just send all the migrants there. Yeah, they not only have mosquitoes, they also have crocodiles, alligators, snakes, other reptiles. All in Florida.
Yeah. Reptiles kind of keep people away.
Oh, that's funny. Funny, NRT. Alright. No! Thank you, Tiggin. Yeah, what's a property tax like? If there's no income tax, but what's a property? That must mean you get it from property tax or sales tax. Yes, the voice of Hal in 2001: A Space Oddity died, 91 years old. Oh. The FDA is proposing banning menthol cigarettes and flavored e-cigarettes at U.S. convenience stores.
The Food and Drug Administration is proposing a ban on menthol cigarettes to go along with its proposed restriction on flavored e-cigarettes. It could be years before the proposal takes effect, but it's a move that health advocates have been pushing for years. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb explained this decision to our chief medical correspondent, Dr. John LaPook.
Menthol is one of the primary vehicles by which kids are initiating on tobacco. If you look at the data of kids who are smoking combustible cigarettes, fully 54% of kids between the age of 12 and 17 are using mentholated cigarettes. And if you look at, for African American...
Wow. So they are all using menthol cigarettes. Who knew? I did not know that. The feud between Mark Zuckerberg and Tim Cook is more public than ever, huh? shouldn't watch such serious news.
You know, I'm wondering.
All right.
If this California fire, they're letting it burn. Why are they letting it burn? Why don't they just put it out with super scooper planes? You know, I just don't get it. Why aren't we allocating the right funding to get the kind of planes that scoop the ocean up and drop it on the coastline? Hello. All right. People are talking, chatting, communicating. That's
Well,
great.
they have InstaWeb. There's lots of different ones that they're.
Really? The fire shows.
I mean, this shows all the fires, and there's a bunch of different fires happening, like
Yeah.
Alder, Mountaineer,
Put that on the
Eden.
screen. Great. Thank you.
So
I'll look at those.
Klondike,
And I'll take calls.
Natchez,
That's
Campfire.
great.
This one they're doing some prescribed burns
Yeah.
to try to like get ahead of fires. I haven't seen
okay.
it. But then you go in here and it's 100% contained, so
Oh,
they've
good.
already done that. So
Yeah.
like that one's pretty close to the water, so maybe they use the water super
Right.
scoopers to put it out. Whereas
True.
this one, the one that they're talking about, the campfire, is
Yeah.
over in Chico, and that's pretty hot over there.
It's far from the water too.
And it's 40% contained.
Wow.
This one up in Shasta is 100% contained.
Yeah.
So they've put out quite a few fires.
Roy Clark died? Oh my gosh.
That's two.
Roy Clark died. What's your opinion, caller? Roy Clark just passed away. Did you like him as a country star, or Roy Clark?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll let you have your chair back.
Yeah, and feel free to have whatever you want and zap it if you
Well, I
need
do
to.
have a taco over here.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a seafood linguine in there if you choose to eat anything. Oh, and there's also half of an avocado I left for you.
Okay, thank you.
Enjoy. All right. I'm just concerned that this fire is covered 459,000 acres, and they say 600 people in this campfire area are, yeah, are not. They're missing. Mendocino campfire. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Natchez fires, Shasta Trinity fires. But this is the bad one. Campfire, 40% contained. This is the one. Go to incident. This is the area involved. And this is where the 600 people are missing. This is campfire right here, yeah. Thank you, no one. David, I cannot believe you live right next to salmon country, but you eat dollar canned fish from China. Oh, I eat salmon from the area from Fukushima, Puget Sound. Yeah, it's all irradiated with gamma rays. Yeah, I would just assume get it right off the coast of China. It's a little farther away from Fukushima, not by the crow flies, but as the water drifts around the planet 3 times to get to China. And really, can you trust anything, really? A can of food from the dollar store versus I mean, let's be real here. The world is being polluted and completely toxified all over the place, and the two-party system has been so inept that they keep putting these morons in front of us that don't have a clue. I did eat a couple fish sticks from the Dollar Tree. I actually thought they were pretty good. I try to eat organic when I can, but you can't be fixated on that. I mean, if I were fixated on that, they'd probably, think I was weird or something. I don't have to eat organic. I've been accused of being an organic food only person, but no, I'm not. I used to make organic food and dinners for women that I went on dates with. And one woman actually said, "You think you're so special. You eat organic. You don't think the rest of us are normal." You're doing to me what I did at that time, and I'm just not 100% organic. I'm anything is okay. Your body is a trash can. You can keep it clean and never use it, or you can treat it like a trash can and eventually it'll look like a trash can. Yeah. No, she would never hurt a woman. I'm not like Michael Avenatti, that naughty guy. He said she hit me first. That's what he said. He ran out and said she hit me first. I mean, that implies he hit her. And then he says he never hit a woman. I mean, the guy's contradicting himself. You're not allowed to criticize people. That's a 1 hour kick you just got in there. Especially people that cam up. You can't criticize people in here. That's sexual harassment. We need to ban people for banning anything. I think you have to decide what's fake news and what's true. And once you figure that out and it matches my views, then we'll be fine. I know. Akira Hitiora Tora says Trump has so much crap in his mouth and ass, he could easily take a dump and extinguish all the California fires. I know. Really? Are you his proctologist? Do you know Trump's ass? David, I ate at McDonald's the other day. I ordered a double cheeseburger meal. Not only do I feel sick for the rest of the day, I crapped a huge brick the next day. Yeah. Those things don't digest properly. They slow down in your system. The white flour is not good for you. You need roughage. You need some probiotics of some sort, like a real whole grain. Now, the only kind of wheat I eat is like Dave's Killer Bread. They've got excellent organic, non-GMO wheat. All of his breads are awesome. They make one out here called Franson, and Great Seed thing is something that the West Coast gets. But they're using organic wheat, non-GMO wheat. And whereas, McDonald's, they don't care. You don't see the word non-GMO anywhere in McDonald's, Wendy's, Jack in the Box, or Taco Bell. Did I miss anybody? Right, Arby's and Der Wiener Schnitzel, Taco Time, and Kentucky Fried Chicken. You don't see any non-GMO signs anywhere. Wondra, by the way, is GMO. I agree. But the stuff I have is from 1975, pre-GMO and pre-sprays. They weren't even spraying the crops at 1975. I have authentic 1975 Wondra I cook with. Do you really think you can come back here and just rag on Raz's hair? And you call that a conversation? This is a discussion about politics, and you don't seem to get it. You don't understand. You dirty rat. Well, I'm eating all the food that says it's expired on your can. The government actually has warned people and said, don't throw it away. You're wasting food. We waste 33% of our canned food by throwing it out. If you can believe that. Oh, honey, it's past its expiration date. Throw it in the garbage. We're not allowing any kind of, you just lost your position. We're not allowing any type of sexual harassment in this room. We're going to need to tell you to stop telling the little people to not eat fast food. Oh, we 639. You can go ahead and eat fast food all you want. Genetically modified food won't kill you in a short run. All right? It only gets you after 30 or 40 years based on laboratory studies of rats and similar situations. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, fast food's actually okay in the short term, but not in the long term. The thing is, the more you cook with regular whole foods, the more our country moves towards regular whole foods, I think we'll be able to actually produce much better quality food. So look to the bright side. When I arrive on the scene, Dow Chemical is going to be crapping bricks themselves, knowing that I am going to try to steer their company toward natural products, even fertilizers. We're going to try to harness a collaboration between the manure people from our chicken and pork industry, a complete collaboration between them and fertilizer companies that use natural products. We're going to try to push natural revitalization on our soil. and stop this deadly Roundup from being distributed. I'll be working with the EPA and a whole new EPA too to basically round up all the Roundup and put it in warehouses as toxic waste. Pull it off the market. It's time. And once we pull this off, we'll be able to really move you guys toward a better, healthier planet. Because right now you're probably, you wonder, gee, well, I'm eating a lot of regular food and fast food, and when's my wheat belly going to go away? Well, you're suffering from a genetically modified gene in the wheat itself, which has 43 chromosomes as opposed to 17 in like an ancient grain. So your body's working extra hard and it slows it down, and your whole system is like, ooh. And then you have this desire to eat more of it because it has an opiate in it. So 43 chromosomes, some of those trigger your brain to make it think like it's heroin. And so now this phenomenon called wheat belly is pervasive across our country. So everybody's running around with this big belly that they can't control. And they keep wanting food that has wheat in it, genetically modified wheat. So you've got this urge to have pizza. That's what's happening. Thanks. Well, there's a reason why everybody, is trying to stay on track with the hair look that I've been working on. It's not been easy. Stop talking. Focus. Over 600 people are missing from the fire. What am I going to do about it? What can I do right now and jump in there? I mean, we've got rescue helicopters right now in our area being deployed down there. This country is reeling from this event. I've had 3 rescue helicopters over my house the past 2 hours, and they're headed toward California. California. Yeah. I know that we're ramping up, but I can't do anything from here. Allay your fears. Don't worry. If your loved one is not here by the evening, there may be hope. I mean, that's all I can say. David Hockney painting sells for $90 million, smashing auction records. I cannot control the U.S. Air Force or Navy. This David Hockney painting is not just of a man contemplating his swimming pool. It broke the world record. That's right, $90 million. $90 million. Portrait of an artist, pool with 2 figures, sold for $90 million. Somebody really liked it, probably some gay guy who said, "Oh, he just looks so much like Dorian Gray. I just want to have that. It's only $90 million. Interesting. Enough of that. Yeah, it's okay to have money. It's not a problem. It's just that the ones that want more money, we have to worry about. I've been not teaching you to think hoax first, facts later. The hoaxes have been coming in faster than the facts. Believe me, if there have never been anybody crying wolf or any of these hoaxes that have never happened, these 50 different events that have no proof of anybody dead, I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah, it's not my fault. Maybe you are a hoax, but the point is, we've been made hoax desensitization, overdose of hoaxes. We've had too many hoaxes. It desensitizes us to the reality that it could happen, or it really could happen. It could be a real terrorist attack. So this playing with the American psyche has been a very, very dangerous thing. Now I've got to retrieve it and somehow stabilize it by the time we reach the presidency by 2020. In the meantime, everybody's being lied to, and you might as well all fear terror. We've had an over-hoax or an overdose of hoaxing. The hollow hoax is not a hoax. The Holocaust is real. The flat earth people, that's fake news. The earth is round. I've got breaking news. The earth is round. Weather modification is happening. Climate control is underway. The government doesn't want to tell us, but they are doing this to our air. And they do have directed energy weapons that can fry homes while you're sitting there. These are true things. They can burn you to a crisp in less than a few seconds. Yes. No, it's not the devil's tornado. No, that was a phenomenon that occurred in Portugal. Different. Did we land on the moon in 69? My belief is we did not. I used to think for sure, but then I looked at all the footage I could find and I realized this has all been a massive fake job.
Roger, you have good thrust. Engine arm is destined. Okay, I'm going to get the pro. 99, proceeded, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector grid. Ag start. Pitch over.
No, Trump won't win again. He'll be resigning as soon as the new filing, the indictments that are coming from Mueller. It doesn't look good for Trump. No, definitely no re-election. His best shot is to do what Nixon did when he fired Spiro Agnew. Fire Mike Pence and put me on as VP. That's the best transition for this country. And I'm a little personal about that. I have a personal interest in this, but I really think we need to stabilize. And a person who can communicate daily is better than a person who tweets at 3 a.m. while he's got insomnia eating fish burgers from McDonald's and Diet Cokes all day. We need somebody who's really quick on his feet right now. And Trump is just Leisure Suit Larry time. No, it's better to actually believe it didn't happen than to believe it happened, because that would explain why we never went back in 50 years. I know Papadopoulos will not do a plea deal. He's even talking about, but nothing really hedges on Papadopoulos. He was like a throwaway guy in the beginning. He can go his own merry way. Manafort has 8 felony counts. Cohen has 8 felony counts. And the new trial that was going to go on in Manafort has gone to a plea agreement, which we don't know the paperwork on yet. But if they do not pull the information and make it public regarding the money laundering that trial was dealing with, then Mueller will be charged with a felony. It's incumbent upon a special prosecutor to make every piece of evidence available to the American people in discovery. And if he violates that, we can charge Mueller with a felony of obstructing justice himself. So everything better move forward rather quickly. From my perspective, Mueller has more than enough to hit him with obstruction of justice at least 2 or 3 times. When Donald Trump tasked the Commerce Department to say that trade with Russia is good for our country, they had no proof of it. That was obstruction of justice. When Donald Trump tried to tell the Department of Homeland Security to order the Russians had nothing to do with our election in 2016, that was obstruction of justice. When he fired James Comey, that was obstruction of justice. When he told his son, Donald Trump Jr., when he went to see the Trump Tower meeting with a lawyer, who was the lawyer for Russia to end sanctions, and then Trump he weighed in, according to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, he weighed in on that testimony. Trump said that he'd apparently weighed in and told his son to change his testimony. It changed from wanting to help the children adoptions in Russia to going and getting email information on Hillary. That was obstruction of justice. There's at least 4 cases of obstruction of justice that I can see. There is also bribe taking. Now, Betsy DeVos is in the news today. There's a group of young students that were cut off from the deferral program who had loans due. And she is now being sued by this group of students for failing to implement automatic student loan forgiveness. Now, this is a real suit because Betsy DeVos was warned that she has to go along with what the policy of the Department of Education was, and she didn't. But that's just the beginning with Betsy DeVos. Sarah Huckabee. Well, she actually said that Trump weighed in on that with Donald Trump Jr., and if he did weigh in, then that's obstruction of justice. You can't change testimony, Donald. But Betsy is definitely, she's definitely in hot water with the students because they want their money refunded. But more importantly, she did give Donald Trump $9.5 million toward his campaign, which essentially cost, I would say, well, that's bribery, and that's a violation of FEC law. So there's at least a Class C felony and a Class A felony. But there's also the issue of her brother, Eric Prince, who is one of the guys, the central characters in our national work with all kinds of mercenary groups that were involved, like Blackwater became Academy, his newest company. And that's very suspicious, at the very least. Very suspicious. So his relationship with our military is also a little too cozy for comfort. We don't need to hire mercenaries. They charge way more than our military. We're losing money with that. This little coalition right here between Betsy and her brother also puts her in a very strange position, because she's involved in investments regarding healthcare that we know for a fact that Vladimir Putin's sister also has a healthcare investment company in Russia, and that those two companies were communicating. Now, Betsy DeVos's company may have been the conduit for the Russian collusion of Donald Trump and any secret communication that was going on, and that needs to be investigated. So there's a lot to the Betsy DeVos story that needs to be looked into. Fraud, possible bribery, and of course secret communications with Russia. Now that stuff is just information that's out there that we have to always ask. I don't think our government's asking any of these big questions. I really think that they're just kind of sidelining everything. And why are we looking at Brooke Baldwin exactly? Are you obsessed with Brooke, Raz Nation? Are you now into that? Zetterbeard and Raz Nation are in our iVlog show. I don't think anybody likes older women as much as you do, Raz. Hey, man. Right on. Well, we're here every night, everyone, and you can communicate on a daily basis. Chat, interactive with the show. And I'm going to play my regular show routine and kick into Mr. Right. Here we are.
You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right. Good to be true. Spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I find. Found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat. 'Cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good. Just spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I find. Found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat. 'Cause you make me melt away.
Okay, we're looking at the type of equipment that would be used if they were to spray or rather hit the entire coastline with a directed energy weapon. That would explain why people couldn't get out of their houses in time. Well, we just like to play a little, fully clothed women. No, there's no nudity in the show. Thank you. Okay, in 1 year, MSNBC covered Stormy Daniels 455 times. The war in Yemen, 0. Very good, Misanthropy. Thank you. Sarah will be in a little later. She'll be in for a second time. She's she gives me 2 breaks in the evening. She came in a little late tonight, so you'll get a chance to see her there, Misanthropy. Okay, whoa. Okay. Whoa, yeah, right. 1 year, MSNBC covered storming 455 times war in Yemen, nothing. Why is the number one outlet of alleged anti-Trump resistance completely ignoring his most devastating war? The carnage and destruction the U.S. and its Gulf monarchy allies are levying against the poorest country in the Arab world is simply a non-issue. Yes, I created the song Mr. Right. That's my work. Okay, on July 2nd, a year that has passed since the cable network's last segment mentioning U.S. participation in the war in Yemen, which has killed in excess of 15,000 people and resulted in over 1 million cases of cholera. The U.S. is backing a Saudi-led bombing campaign with intelligence, refueling, and political cover of military hardware, and as of March, ground troops. I did not know that. None of this matters to all who, in Adweek, calls the network of resistance, which has since its last mention of the U.S.'s role in the destruction of Yemen, found time to run over a dozen segments highlighting war crimes committed by Syria and Russian governments in Syria. Very good one. Thank you, Misanthropy. Yeah, the attention of our mainstream media has completely shifted away from reporting the news and just steering us with controlled talking points. Okay, well, we mute you just like you mute us. Thank you. George Jefferson? I don't know. We don't have anybody. No. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you planning to export worms to Canada? Yes. I think worm production will be a big part of the national composting plan. And Sarah kind of got me motivated in this direction. We're now doing vermiculture. And those red wrigglers are really valuable. They are worth $35 a pound. And people use them to build compost all around the world. So yeah, expect a worm exporting business. Beyond that, let's get real. Because we're not really seeing big progress in technology with our government operating essentially just to create its own military industrial complex. Last night, Meow TV sent us a link to the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. It's called the Hover 2. And this thing is amazing. Yeah, I was really impressed with what it has to offer here. Let's take a look.
Introducing a revolution in flight. 2 years ago, Zero Robotics introduced the Hover Camera Passport, the first flying camera of its kind. It won numerous design awards, led to a worldwide partnership with Apple Retail, and touched the lives of thousands. Now, after 2 years of research and development, from the lab to the sky, we're proud to present the next generation, Hover 2, the drone that flies itself. Hover 2 is the most intelligent, most complete flying camera the world has ever seen. With 4K video, 12 megapixel photos, and a smooth, super compact gimbal, Hover 2 lets you capture the natural world and your place in it in dazzling detail. Taking a photo with a drone has never been easier. Use AutoFrame to select a shot, press a button, and Hover 2 will safely fly into position.
Have you seen this?
This is possible due to a proprietary obstacle avoidance system. The optical radar is a swiveling stereo sensor that pops up with a small tap, delivering 360-degree spatial awareness.
Well, I'm getting spatially aware just looking at that. That's amazing. Wow, isn't that cool?
Yes.
I'm impressed. I think it's it's the perfect gift for the narcissist in your family who wants to be taking selfies all the time. You know?
I know. Is that what you want for Christmas?
No, I'm not a narcissist. But if you have a narcissist in the family, it would be perfect. I don't have anybody in my family now who's a narcissist.
You'd love to record yourself all the time.
Well, I've thought about doing a live casting show, and I think that would make it possible to have it flying around me. But I can only imagine how disturbing it is to have to recharge it every few minutes. There's an autistic guy who's featured before you on iBlog. I don't care. That's okay.
For him.
Good for him. I want him to be featured. People who are autistic need to, get their name out there. I'm more artistic.
You need a break.
Yeah, I got to get a break, and I'll be back shortly. Thank you.
Or working. You need to go do some more work.
Yes, I work constantly. Oh, I never did start the Skype show, so let me at least get that thing going.
Do it when you come back.
Yeah, I just want to get it wrapped up here. Yeah, I guess Skype will start at 9 now.
I mean, you can start it now, and
Well, if people call in, we've got.
I'm not going to take any calls, so.
Yeah, I'm just going to make sure
Yeah.
Yeah, I am connected to the VPN, and I am going to go ahead and just invite friends into my. Start a conversation, I guess. It's hard to find the exact place.
It's at the top.
It's at the top.
Invite more people.
There it is. Okay. Okay, copy to clipboard and then put it in there. Okay, I'm just going to paste this there so when I'm ready to go, ready to take Skype calls. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. You want me to try to decipher your pseudo binary? No, I did not, nerd. Instead, I had a little of my left while David was talking about the dangers of bread and wheat and GMO bread and wheat specifically. I ate some GMO bread that my friend had made. Energy. Okay, Bengalitis, you guys might be right about wheat. Okay. Sorry. The Skype name to add, David. David will come in a minute. There's a third party. Oh, gosh. Yeah, and when he does, I will get it to you 121. When David's back, I'll get you the Skype chat to join. Wheat will eat my gut little by little. Like, how does it eat your gut? Does it make polyps in your gut? I wonder if some people say like milk, like lactose intolerance. I wonder what that is. Oh, the gut wall has a protective layer that wheat will eat. I don't do too much wheat. I know I just ate some bread my friend made, but in general, I actually don't eat too much wheat. Except that David adds carbs to everything. It's like, pasta. Does pasta eat your gut as well? One says starch and blood diet is a Western way, but we aren't designed for it. My honest opinion about him is I wish he wouldn't. He seems like an okay person to me. I just wish he wouldn't aggravate David. What's the right word? Yeah, I guess that's the right word. Yeah, David likes spaghetti squash, and I like spaghetti squash. Okay, Bangalitis. I just ate sugar and flour. I'm gonna have some more tomorrow, but eventually I'll go with you and go away from the sugar and flour. All right. I do have a lot of patience. But yeah, spaghetti squash is very good. I'd love to use spaghetti squash more often than spaghetti pasta.
Oh man, this is really good. Oh, your feet are up. Okay, good.
Okay, sorry.
I was just checking out my mock lobster.
David's eating his mock lobster. What is that?
It's a mock lobster. It's a piece of carrot that looks like lobster.
Oh.
But I used real, like Bar Harbor sea stock.
Okay.
It's really good. No, you go ahead.
Okay.
I'm just going to enjoy it.
Okay.
You want me to make you a foot, like a foot fixer?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it next to your bed.
That would be good. No, David does something different rather than the fake crab meat, like the pollock. He had a can of, it was like lobster bisque. Basically, they boiled the lobster and took all the lobster meat out, and it was like the lobster flavored water, flavored with real lobster, I guess. And a can of salmon, but like NRT says it wasn't like pink salmon. It was probably pink salmon or probably chum salmon, so it didn't look very red. It was more like grayish. And then of course the ever-present pasta and lots of Parmesan. Melko hasn't moved on. And then he adds carrots, which have that, like a little red coloring. Anyway. I don't know what he's asking, but I would like to try to make a cranberry walnut stuffing. But I don't know how David feels about cranberries, but I like cranberries a lot. And usually, like, David hates cranberry sauce, but he likes stuffing or dressing, whatever you call it. And so that's what kind of stuffing I'd like to make. But then, of course, so how do you do that without, you put breadcrumbs, basically, or bread. Anyway, how do you make it? What do you stuff your lobster with if you're staying away from starch? Yeah, cranberries is good for you. Yeah, I like cranberries. A straw man. Okay. Well, the breadcrumbs are still there, but... Oh, you drink a bottle of cranberry juice daily? But your cranberry juice probably has sugar in it, because I had this no sugar added cranberry juice. It was the tartest thing I've ever tried. Oh, it's so tart. I think it's fine. I think NRT, I actually agree with David that some food does not go bad. Some. All juice in the store is pasteurized, you say? You're probably right. You have to make your own juice with the own apples that you pull from the tree. Yeah. I did make pear sauce from my pear tree, and all it has is pears, ginger, cinnamon, and a little bit of vanilla. That's it. No sugar added. It is delicious. Oh, cran grape is good. That grape juice really helps it sweeten it up. But all 100% juice, yeah, that's good. I like tomatoes, cucumbers, lemons. Yeah, I'm not a fan of cucumber seeds, of course, but... Well, you're going to have to tell... Why don't you make an order ahead of time? Misanthropy. So the thing to do is call tomorrow, put in your order for your fresh Thanksgiving meal, and then they'll have it ready for you on Thanksgiving Day. Did you get one of them because you got there as they were closing up? I know, I've done that. I have had Thanksgiving at a random Chinese restaurant one year. I think that was with David. Yeah, who is he? He's a guy that he was on their broadcast a couple times. That's interesting. Oh, that's the true human diet. Apples, pears, tomatoes, cucumbers, lemons. Yeah. Things that grow naturally. Wow. I met Mr. Bumpus, NRT. I knew the real Mr. Bumpus. And he didn't spell his name that way. He spelled his name B-U-M-P-A-S. But I'm serious, I met the guy that played the Mr. Bumpus in the movie. Oh, that's pretty cool. Your parents used to go to a buffet for Christmas and Thanksgiving. Did they take you to a buffet? Did they never make you a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner? Were you an only child? Yeah, you can self-heal. That's pretty cool, 1-2-1. I like that. On the diet. Okay. What should I research? Complete molecular structure diet? Is that what I should research? Because that sounds like a pretty interesting. Humans are innocent. What we must blame the aliens that messed with caveman DNA. Stop drinking and getting high, beans and cornbread. Okay. Oh, alkaline, really? An alkaline diet? Okay, I might look it up. Jim says balance your body's pH levels. Okay. Is that the alkaline diet too? Huh. Yeah, it looks... The one that they said is proven to really help you live longer is the Mediterranean diet. And You Make Me Go says, no, we should eat raw meat, raw dairy, raw eggs. That just all sounds disgusting. I'm sorry. Oh, that's gross. I would rather go more toward the vegan end than a raw meat end. I'd rather eat raw fruits and vegetables. Yes, there are fruits and veggies in nature. Absolutely, they exist. I would say I could go without the beans. I can go without the grains, but fruits and vegetables have been around since time immemorial. I agree you're right about meat and you're right about animal fat, but I just can't do it raw. Well, it depends on where you lived. In the Americas, fruits and vegetables have been around that long. Protein, you can find protein in plants. Use the lard to protect your teeth? Wow. Well, I would agree with eating meat. But I don't think just only meat. I believe that we're omnivores. We eat both meat and plants. You think we weren't omnivores in nature? Do you think omnivores don't exist in nature? I don't think so, Bengalitis, but somebody called You Make Me Go over on iVlog thinks that's all you should eat is raw meat and raw meat products. I haven't heard of that singer, no. Sorry, Ghost. Is iVlog the one that was talking about aliens taking caveman DNA? Yes, that was it. I was just reading what they were writing. Thank you. He's in the other room. David is in the other room. Okay. Hi, Miss Scruffy. I'm having some interesting conversations about diets. One person says we should eat a... Oh, well, let me, just one moment, let me get a show open, because I've been doing it in a pop-out chat. So, which I can't get IMs in. Okay, now you can send me an IM. I could not do a raw meat thing. I like meat, but not raw. I've missed one. Okay, wait. Okay.
All right, that was incredible. I don't think I've made it something tastier than that in a while. That was awesome.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Thank you. All right, well, hopefully we'll have a less troll environment.
Yes.
That's great.
We'll know to check our email, too.
Yeah, I haven't checked my email today.
Neither have I.
Okay.
But just know that they said.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, there's.
So like.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, this happened before too. Yeah. And do we even know that's her
Yeah.
in chat?
Yeah, because she came in here.
Okay,
And then
gotcha.
she has the same number of letters.
All right, good. Verification. So I had a really great mock lobster reheat with a bit of Colby cheese on top, and man, I think I really did master the mock lobster taste. It really did taste like lobster. And Sarah said, "What are those things?" They're carrots. You put carrots in it; it looks like lobster meat. It was very good. I'm glad we didn't use the MSG that we had. I'm saving those cans for survival. There's a link between MSG and brain problems. Thank you. Tell her about the gray canned salmon. It wasn't that gray. No, I actually saw some pink in the salmon. It was wild farmed out of China. I thought I'd throw it in there for, texture. It looks like lobster meat, so I'm okay with that. That was the whole purpose. Otherwise, I would have put mackerel in there, which is gray. And you get more meat too. I'm not eating meat on a regular basis. I limit my.
And I don't eat
beef
that many
too.
carbs, but I have been
Yeah.
lately.
Oh, you have tacos and stuff.
No, I just had I had a taco.
GMO tacos, or yeah.
Whatever. It wasn't even that big of a deal. It was just like a tiny taco.
Right. Yeah. Just.
And then I ate that challah bread my friend made.
Oh yeah, boy, that stuff really gave me a reaction. I had some of that,
Yeah.
and man, I
You locked up or something.
no, the next morning I had a headache. It was like weird. It was like a sugar I couldn't digest.
Yeah. She did use lots of sugars in there.
Yeah, lots of sugar. It was like, whoa. It was very sugary. You can make sugary stuff, and you can make really sugary stuff. But we do know sugar is better than corn syrup. So if you're looking at product lines, try to get things with sugar in them as opposed to corn syrup, because most corn syrup now is genetically modified, which is not safe. They've actually seen some problems.
Okay.
Yeah, carbs are bad. Okay, well you go ahead and I've got hot water for you by your bed. Just hit the button and hit.
I'm so looking forward to that because I had right now I'm fine.
Okay.
But then laying down,
Yeah.
I do not have.
Get a foot thing going on and relax there, and then I'll give you a more of a rub later. Yeah, I know. Mark says T. Rucker died. I know. Everyone says but he did fake his death twice before. So. No, I can't really tell anyone that I'm superior to anyone. Thank you for the opportunity, though. I'm too humble for that. And great at the same time. I'm great and humble. Humbly great. Yeah, when you are great, you have to kind of subdue it and be more humble. So he had complications. We never heard from his cancer at all. No one ever knew he had cancer. It was just you and him, I guess. You were both in a, kind of a close relationship, and only you would know about that, I guess. Well, it's just that we did get that video from Amanda. She posted a video, and the strange things about the video from Amanda is she, from Haul & Ass, that she was with T. Rucker. Check this out.
I got out of a bad marriage right before I started doing this. I was in a relationship with someone for 6 years or so, and I was married for 3. It was a very emotionally abusive, mutually just not good for each other relationship.
And I got to tell you, I really like the fact that she opened up about this, but the problem is she did it on October 24th, right here, and she talked about him in as if he was still alive. So it's very confusing. You can check it out. And I really respect the fact that she did the video, but the date of the video is 5 days after he died, and she's talking about him as if he's still alive. So, oh, it's a re-upload? Okay. I didn't know. That clarifies it. Thank you for clarifying. That was a little confusing. Published October 24th. It doesn't say re-upload. Yeah. Oh, it's in the haul and ass re-upload category. You're right. You're right. And she didn't upload it. Someone recorded it from a live stream. She did? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, you know, you guys obviously had a close relationship with him, and that will, you know, live forever. Yeah, it's called re-uploads. I get it, Misanthropy. Well, all I can say is that it can be, life can be painfully short. My grandmother died at 47, so.
Antifa, fringe left, has now become very much a part of what the Republicans are doing to hang around the Democrats. I mean, they're getting to the point to where Democrat equals Antifa. That's their goal. And so the story that came out this week, Tucker Carlson is in his home with his family now.
Okay, yeah. You know, Trump is threatening to use the police against anybody like Antifa who bothered Tucker Carlson. And Trump is behaving as a dictator in a police state, which is kind of a sad thing. So last time you talked to him, you were planning on a meetup with him in Tennessee, and you couldn't do it. Wow. Yeah, you guys really had a close bond. We're open to humor, yeah. George Carlin is good, Techwalla. Whatever you want. Bring on the humor. Bring on the clowns. Take care. And you too, Miss Scruffy. I hope you feel better. Yeah, well, tragedy is really kind of like a blow in the face when you realize how mortal we are. And I guess that's exactly what happened with him. You think that Antifa is part of it looks like the Nazi flag? Yeah, it does look, I think Antifa is a make-believe, fake group of people that are put together by the alt-left. And I think that they're trying to rebrand themselves constantly, and they get funding from MoveOn.org. We've got multiple people admitting that they've gotten funding directly from George Soros. And George Soros is openly looking for funding, so why doesn't Donald Trump do something about that? It's treasonous what George Soros is doing to our country to try to fund and pay for riots in our country, which is suspicious considering he bet on a hedge fund saying our economy was going to fail. So he has a financial interest in banking on giving people money to have political unrest in this country. They're paid thugs, right? It's not an organic movement. No, you're right. So I think a lot of this is being pushed by the Zionist globalist elitists. Let's call them globalist elitists for lack of confusion here. And they're very wealthy people, and they control what happens in countries like ours. And unfortunately, Trump isn't strong enough to stand up against them. Anybody who tries to stand up against them has to be under complete 100% security, because they will try to assassinate that leader. That's just a fact. So even traveling from the perspective of a presidency is going to be very, very difficult if I ever make it to that point. Yeah, I seriously wouldn't doubt that. Guest 927. Disaffected people, poor and abused people. Yeah, many of them are inbred children of the ultra elite, and they don't see us as human. They see us as subhuman, and that they're superior to all of us, even though they're not. Oh, really? Okay, well, we have proof of that. I think Sarah got rid of my links over there. I had a whole lot of links. They're gone. Interesting. Whew. 33 tabs. Oh, man. 33 tabs on the wall. I'm managing my links right now. Hang on. Okay, we're looking at the incident area of the worst missing people. There are 600 plus people missing in the fire that's currently 40% contained. This is the Camp Fire. Yeah, I'm going to research this YouTube video real quick on our link library. We have an actual testimony from someone. This month, I posted it in our playlist. He was being paid directly from Soros, and he's open about it, and he talks about it. And so those of you who think that this is all just this alt-right BS story about Soros paying people for paid rioting, we really need to play that video for you. Let's hope I can find it. Okay, it's not really popping up right away. So the only way to find this is just to power through it. And yeah, it doesn't look like it's popping up right now. No, it's not just anybody. This is an actual organizer for this alt-left group. Let me just do a quick search. Yeah, the Young Turks have it.
Hey, so at one point, a woman sort of facetiously asked if there were any paid protesters in the house, and of course everybody shouted no and groaned. But you stood up and indicated that you are a paid protester. What did you mean by that?
Well, I meant, you know, like we all get paid to you know.
No, I don't know. Please explain.
Well, it's a difficult thing to explain, but basically, anytime that you're given the opportunity to protest and somebody will pay you to do it, that's like twice as good as just doing it on your own time.
So you weren't kidding around. You actually meant that you have been paid at some point to protest?
Yeah, like
How can I get in on that?
Yeah. Okay. So you go to like.
Wait a second. So this guy thinks that this guy. I've got a guy over at iBlog that won't even take this admission on the Young Turks as verifiability that George Soros pays people. He still says, "Oh yeah, like sure, yeah, sure, like for sure, dude, yeah, like sure, the guy is your proof." Oh, more fake news from the Young Turks now. Oh.
GeorgeSoros.com. And you just sign up right there. You put your name in, you put your email address, and there's an empty box there where you say how many times you're willing to protest and how much you want to get paid.
And you get a check directly from Soros.
Directly from Soros.
That's incredible.
Signed by him. He even invited me to lunch.
Does he sign it in blood?
He said if I'm willing to like gather some more friends, I can get paid like twice as much for every friend that I gather and kind of set up a pyramid scheme.
And you can get rich just based on protesting for Soros, right?
I already have, yeah. So basically, I've been organizing most of the protesting that you see in California so far, and it's all due to being paid. If I wasn't paid, I would be, like skiing.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it.
What?
This is unbelievable.
Yeah. I know. I just wish more people knew about it because then we could actually like start a movement.
Okay, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
Well, we started a movement right now. It's called the Bowel Movement, and we're all on it every morning, assuming you're regular. So many of you have already made your submissions already to the Bowel Movement. Yeah. So just think of me when you're having that big bowel movement in the morning. You're part of this growing group. I know. Only idiots won't believe that Soros has been throwing. You have too many knots in there. It's. Ted. Sounds like Dick. Is this Dick? Dick Head? Is that you?
No, it's not. I'm not that person.
Okay. Well, who are you then? If you're not Dick Head?
I'm Ted. My name's Teddy.
Teddy. You're Teddy. Okay. Okay, Teddy. What's your question?
It's a two-part thing. It's a question and a comment.
Okay. Let's do the question first.
Why don't you accept Melko into the?
What is this attack of the Melkos? No, we won't be doing any more communication with him. He's been banned from the show. I only touched down on him to figure out who he was and take his pictures so he can do reverse facial recognition someday, because I see him as a potential problem. Yeah, I don't track you on the show right now, but having his face on there was very important. So we needed to lure him out to get his face on there. We have it, and then we're going to go from there. He's been tracking us for how long? 6 years now. He's obsessed with the show. So about Mark and Trucker doing meetups. Oh, really? Don't know what's playing with much attention. Well, Mark says he for real is dead, so I'm taking Mark on his word and Miss Scruffy on her word. And again, I have not seen a death certificate of any of these people, even T. Rucker. So all I can say at this point is it's better off that we think of him as alive still. He's alive in a different dimension, okay? You can think he's alive in reality, or you can think he's alive in a different dimension, but that's one way of dealing with it. Scissor Fight says he's not dead. Melko needs to go make up with his dad. Really, we don't need to talk about Melko. I told you, Melko is a bannable offense and word here. This is a warning. I'm clearing the chat. Do not use the word Melko again. Thank you. Well, they can be made public when you request a death certificate, or at least an acknowledgement of a death. I think Amanda was so upset that she was forced to do things for a lot lizard that she probably wouldn't enjoy being around somebody else who she had to do things for. So, I don't know. I got the impression she was a little bit put off by that. Most women are put off by having to do things for people in order to stay with them, Can you imagine? Carter says, if T. Rucker's dead, then you're Barney Fife. Well, if it's an elaborate story that they're spinning, then what can I say? I'll just wait and see. The nice thing about time is time heals all. It's a wonderful expression, isn't it? Okay. Illegal immigrants cited in the theft of 39 million Social Security numbers. Right, and I think that could have been the case, or maybe Amanda was just moving on to Lot Lizard because he had more money. Now that was my argument, that no woman would leave her husband unless there was cash involved. Okay? First you get the money, then you get the woman, then you get the power. Okay? Say hello to my little friend. Illegal immigrants cited in theft of 39 million Social Security numbers. Wow. That means our entire voting system is vulnerable. Yeah, I think voting is almost impossible at this point. I think our voting system has been broken. The Russians led us to believe that they controlled the election through their manipulation of our media networks, which they openly did. So we've concluded that Russia was involved. Yeah. So now our Social Security numbers are vulnerable to illegal aliens. So nothing is as it seems in America now. So maybe we should issue new Social Security numbers or validations or something when voting. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy how far off the track we are. Fike is happening right now in Denver, really? And we're supposed to know exactly what that is. Fike. Right? Breaking news. Flat Earther convention. We're not a part of Flat Earth at all. It's the most absurd thinking on Earth. Bingo. If you're there, you should leave. Trump should fire Pence, and he should hire me. Pence has not revealed any of his emails from the past 6 years. I say fire Pence. I'll be glad to reveal my emails for the past 6 years. Yeah, except for, of course, personal correspondence between me and my family. Flat Earth is disinfo? Totally. Yeah, it's called Operation Shoot the Moon. The CIA put it together. They found out that people are so stupid now that they're actually dumbed down to the point where they believe that the Earth is flat and that we have a dome over our head. So Operation Shoot the Moon was designed to get rid of the moon hoaxers who have a legitimate reason to believe we didn't go to the moon. I'm one of them. And getting rid of the moon hoaxers was their primary goal, so they trivialized it. Well, if you don't believe that we went to the moon, then surely you won't believe that the NASA is telling you the truth about even the Earth being a sphere, they say. Oh, they take it to the extreme. And then it goes off the grill and off into tangential land. So then you have to tell your family that you're mentally ill. Then they check you into a mental hospital. Oh yeah, you keep pushing your flat Earth crap, and believe me, they'll put you on a 5150 and a 3-day hold. Seriously, they'll haul you in, man. Same with your hollow hoax crap. All right, Howie. Okay, Howie's on the line. Howie, I made it the way you wanted. It tasted great. That was the best linguine, mock lobster linguine on earth.
Well, I'm sure glad you liked it, Dave.
Thank you for helping me on that one. He said don't use MSG.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I just was calling to say hey, and I was going to ask you if you read a little bit, if you had time to read some more into that link I sent you about the cancer in the MSG.
You know, I've got it on me right now. It's the silent brain. There's a widespread and silent killer, and I'll post it in the room for everybody to see. Yeah, I think it's important we all look at it. It is definitely something that has always been in the back of my mind, and I've never really gotten a good link. And now that I have a link, we can look at it.
Well, I just wanted to pass it on because I'm really worried about that kind of stuff, and
Me too.
Find myself. I'm real worried about it. I mean, I see people eating stuff all the time, and I've said things before to them and they don't listen, so I let them do what they want.
Right.
The things I read are not good about that stuff.
Right. Now, I very rarely ever eat MSG. I mean, I've had it only holidays when I get cream of mushroom soup. So when you get your cream of whatever, look to see if it's got MSG. If it doesn't have MSG, then get it. So we'll be looking, when we make our bean dish that everyone makes for Thanksgiving, we're going to be looking for cream of mushroom without MSG, folks. So this cancer link, causing cancer ingredient could be MSG that could cause brain disorders. Lesions in the brain due to MSG. Very interesting. And we talked to somebody online. We had a call early in our show where his Uncle Tony died of brain cancer. All he ate was soup every day in a microwave. And he got brain cancer.
Rodney?
What's that?
Wasn't it Rodney?
No, that was somebody else. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
David, do you want the update on the Gulen movement to ease Turkish pressure on Saudis over killing White House ways expelling Erdogan foe? Yeah, that's worth looking at. Yeah, the Gulen movement is very disturbing. It's basically MSG that people were worried about. And it affects the brain, apparently. And this study, and I'll post the link in iBlog for you here, will give you the definitive information you need. Yeah, so you're pretty careful, and you also eat organic coffee. I noticed you drink organic coffee, which I do too.
Yes, sir, Dave. I don't eat bad stuff.
Right, that's good. Okay, so
I have two vices: cannabis and beer, and that's it.
Cannabis and beer. Okay, well, beer can be a lifetime vice for sure.
Well, all in moderation. All in moderation.
I hope. Yeah, I just see alcohol as being very addictive. whereas cannabis is not as addictive. Yeah. So yeah, we're
I'd rather have cannabis than beer, but I drink 2 or 3 beers a day.
Oh, that's not bad. Now that's supposed to be good for you. There's a 103-year-old woman who actually had beer every day of her life. She drank. Here's a picture of her.
Is she the one that drank the Miller High Life?
Let's see what she has here.
Who's about to turn 103 had a special request
she is.
for her birthday celebration. Beer.
Beer.
Harv Jacobs tells us it's part of her daily routine that she says keeps her going.
Here she
Mildred
is.
Bowers has seen a lot in the last 103 years. Mildred, called Millie by her friends,
Yeah.
lived through the Great Depression and outlived 2 husbands.
What is the secret to living to 103?
It's all in the genes.
Mildred
She's also
Bowers.
sharp as a tack.
My mind is good, you know. I have no problem with that. And that's the big thing
Yeah.
that
Well, this is an older
I
video.
have at my age is a good mind.
Today, Millie Grill.
I never expected anything like this.
Her friends came from
Yeah,
out
she,
of town
uh,
to celebrate with some nurses.
She drinks this
Said-
beer. That's how much beer is healthy for you. Any more than that is not healthy.
He said yes.
So with her 103rd birthday just a couple of weeks away,
Yeah,
her
she's
friends
looking
ordered
pretty good
Millie
for 103.
beer. The bartender placed it on the table.
Yeah, she'll finish the whole pint. So 1 pint is enough for her to get a buzz, and yeah, she's just doing great. Fantastic.
I bet. Hey, Dave, I got a question.
Yeah, what's the question?
What are all those beers on the bottom of the door in the refrigerator here?
Oh, I collect IPAs that I see at a good price for anybody who really manages to visit me. I have the IPAs just in case somebody wants a beer. I don't drink, but I get a really good deals on these things, and they're worth like $9 a piece. Normally, I get them for about $2. So
Are they 40s?
they're big. I mean, they'll mess one person up if you haven't had a beer in your life. One of those things will put you, on your chair. You'll be going, oh. But I don't drink, so I just thought it's kind of cool to collect rare IPAs, India Pale Ales, and we got a lot of. I've got a lot of family members that are all alcoholics, so, and I don't really associate with them, but anyway, yeah.
You know, you realize that IPAs have like a shelf life, don't you?
No, I didn't realize that.
Yes, sir. They usually state that up to 90 days. IPAs, I guess, have something like a juiciness to them that dissipates after 90 or 120 days.
Well, that's fine with me because I'm actually okay with that juiciness. Since I don't drink, it doesn't really matter to me.
The juiciness goes away. I mean, that's what I'm just saying.
Like I don't. Well, that's the thing. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it will affect the alcohol content, or will it affect the end result. You may lose that essence of the IPA, but it'll still get you messed up.
I don't drink beer to get messed up.
Well, why the hell would you drink beer if you didn't want to get messed up? Jeez, if I was going to drink beer, I'd get drunk. I mean, why not? I don't drink though.
I don't want to get a headache.
Oh, okay.
I did that in high school. I had to give that up.
All right. Well, whatever works for you, man. I mean, that pint of beer that she drinks, Mildred, I think that's more than enough to, help you long term in your life. So maybe I'll start drinking a pint of beer, half of one of those things every day as I reach my 90s, and I won't really care if it has a juiciness in it. I'll just be happy to have something to drink.
You don't like the taste of it, though, do you?
I don't care about anything, really. I'll drink anything if I'm thirsty. So, I'm not... Who likes the taste of beer, really? I mean, it's an acquired taste. Thank you.
Had a Russian stout before?
I've had everything. I've had a Guinness stout. Some of those stout beers are really, really carbohydrates are filling. You don't have to eat after you drink a stout beer. But I don't like beer.
500 calories in a 12-ounce bottle.
Oh yeah, I bet you like that. But I don't. The best beer is to drink like Stella Artois, which you said was an important beer in your life. That is an incredibly free of fluoride beer. Whereas most beers around the world are filled with fluoride in tap water that they're getting. except for the German beers, the ones from the Netherlands. So Grolsch is free of fluoride. Heineken, supposedly the one created in Germany, is free of fluoride. So that's something to remember. Yeah, the Netherlands and Holland is free of fluoride. There's also Dos Equis, a Spanish beer, Mexican beer. Yeah, Stella Artois is from Belgium. Right, and that's free of fluoride. So if you avoid fluoride in your beer, I think you're less likely to have a reaction. Now, I used to sell wine, organic wine, when I was young. And I can tell you that wine today, even organic wine, is contaminated with Roundup. They've done a study. So I have the perhaps cleanest wine ever created in my collection. I never drank it. I just kept it in my wine cellar. So I have that along with my stale IPA beers. So I'm ready for the apocalypse. I'm bracing for the apocalypse.
I'm not making fun of your beer, David. I'm just telling you about the dates.
Well, I don't care if something's out of date. I'll drink something 20 years old. I don't really care. I'd prefer to drink a Ballantine's Scotch whiskey from 1962, but I've been having a difficult time finding it. It's $27,000 a bottle. Ballantine's from 1962. I've been on a search for it on the line. I've yet to find it.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, you don't know your Scotch whiskey. Fluoride in your water does not help tooth loss, but on your teeth, there's an argument it makes it stronger to prevent cavities. So rinse out. Don't eat your toothpaste.
No, I get the fluoride-free toothpaste like you get.
So do I. Yeah, I don't do fluoride-added toothpaste. We don't do fluoride in our home. Sarah has some mouth products that her dentist gave her that she can rinse with that has fluoride. I think if you rinse out really well, you're probably okay. But it does give you a coating over your teeth to prevent cavities. That much is true. But not when you drink it.
3 or 4 times a day. I hope I'll be good.
Well, you'll know. I mean, when you turn 40 or 50, you'll have to experience tooth loss and figure that out.
Yeah, did you have your wisdom teeth taken out, Dave?
I had one of my wisdom teeth taken out. Only one. Only one. I was lucky.
You never had any problems that giving you headaches or anything?
No. I've got a fairly large enough area for my wisdom teeth to stay in my mouth.
They took mine out.
Now that's a big operation. All 4 at the same time?
No, sir. They took out the 2 top ones, and then the bottom ones had to be broken in pieces to be taken out.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a big operation. Yeah, they broke mine in pieces. Okay, we got a caller. Go ahead, caller. What's your question?
Hi, it's Jeff Bezos from Amazon.
Hey, Jeff. So how's it going? What a great moment to talk to you. I feel so happy. All right. Okay, thanks. I don't think that's him. You're going to bed? Have a good night. Uh-oh, Mr. Bill. Sleep well.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah. Go ahead, Howie.
I have a question, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound disrespectful or rude, because we made a deal and I'm not going to be disrespectful, but can you please fix the intro for me, please?
All right. We're going to remove him from the show. So, Dave, can we talk about Amazon's new headquarters in New York and North Carolina? Yeah, I'd like to talk about that. It's very much so. I would love to know why they chose that area and why Jeff Bezos feels like this is going to be very successful for him. As you know, Jeff Bezos recently lost $9 billion in investments, and then it went up to $19 billion, and now he's recouping it. So I think he went for the cheapest area you could find, someplace that's in a depressed community like, New York or North Carolina. Yeah, it was a bad connection, so. Yes, my wine cellar. I do appreciate the fact that I have the finest wine ever created and crafted in the world. I have Burgundies from France in the 1950s, some of the earliest. I have early California. Pinot Noirs from the first cutting. Okay, you've got a link there. All right, let's move on. So Erdogan, basically to ease Turkish pressure on the Saudis over killing, White House is weighing expelling Erdogan's foe. I don't think we need to do anything at this point. If the Gulen man who's been chosen by Erdogan is a bad guy, and Gulen schools really have dug deep into our country's financial sector, they take a lot of money from advanced education credits. I think we probably should do that as a rule just to get him out of the country, but not for this reason. I think any movement whatsoever that would destabilize relations with Saudi Arabia is unnecessary. And I still have no confirmation that Jamal Khashoggi died. There has been no DNA confirmation of the body with the mangled face that appeared in a suitcase after he was allegedly tortured, which we still don't have solid confirmation of because the audio tapes have not been released. Next. Amazon picks New York and North Virginia for its new headquarters after a year-long search. There it is. Probably cost-saving methods. Saving money. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the audio here. Unmute. Okay. Crystal City is a large collection of office buildings built around the 1960s and a network of tunnels with restaurants and retail. The Defense Department announces major closures in Crystal City in 2005, but recent developments have drawn newcomers and economic opportunity. Crystal City, wow. Hello there, welcome. Many were confused by the name National Landing. So Amazon just does not like the name Crystal City or what? Never heard of National Landing. It's branding Crystal City as National Landing. It is literally Crystal City. Phase 1 is expected to begin in 2019. Okay, well apparently they went for the cheapest infrastructure they could find, because I think Jeff Bezos, he seems like a cheapskate to me. You know, cutting everybody's salaries, and now he's going to pay everybody $15 an hour, but not the people delivering the packages. That's kind of a weird move. He's cutting bonuses for employees during holidays. I mean, hello. Talk about Google's new Big Brother City of the Future in Toronto. You know, I didn't know about Big Brother's City of the Future in Toronto. Wow. I guess I haven't been tuned into the news lately. I'm getting too much coming from the conspiracy world, not enough from the actual fact-based. Well, of course, conspiracies have facts to them too. All right, here it is. Google is building a city of the future in Toronto. Would anyone want to live there? It would be the coolest new neighborhood on the planet, or peek into the Orwellian metropolis that knows everything you did last night. Wow, Toronto, even with a chilly mid-May breeze blowing off Lake Ontario, the city's western waterfront approaches idyllic. The lake laps up against the boardwalk, people sit in colorful Adirondack chairs, and footfalls of pedestrians compete with the cry of gulls. But walk east, and the scene changes quickly. Cut off from the gleaming downtown Toronto by the Gardiner Expressway, the city trails off into a dusty landscape of rock-strewn parking lots and heaps of construction material. Yeah. This October, a coalition of the Toronto, Ontario Canadian governments contracted with Sidewalk Labs, a sister company of Google, to come up with a $50 million design for a dozen acres in the waterfront's far eastern end. The idea is to reimagine Toronto's derelict waterfront as the world's first neighborhood built from the internet up. Called Quayside. The neighborhood would leapfrog the usual slow walk of gentrification to build an entire zone all at once as a smart city. Fantastic. Well, you know, there's no holding back progress, right? All right, let's move on. We are moving on to the next subject. Turkey gives recordings on Khashoggi's death to Saudis. Yeah, Thing is, tell people a lie.
The
long
war
enough.
on California is continuing, and it is. They're taking out North California, South California is up in smoke. 6,000 homes just got nuked and murdered. So they are declaring war on California, and they can't figure out how to stop the fires. And I'm going to tell you guys right now how to stop the fires. I'm going to give you guys the insight on how to stop these fires overnight. Now, nobody else will say this because this is kind of thinking outside the box. But let me tell you.
All right, I got it. I just had to control it. We wrestled it to the ground. Those 153news.net sites always pop up pretty fast. Yeah. It was Virginia. All right, thank you. The reason behind the surprise decision to divide the facility was due to the talent pool. Amazon realized it could recruit more skillful workers and offer employees. And Virginia Tech is going to build a facility nearby, the headquarters. It will cost about $1 billion. Well, I think people in that area, like in Charlottesville, will be very happy. Yeah. I wish them the best of luck with Amazon's new location. But again, I think he went for a low-cost alternative. The property values on the East Coast are 1/3 of the cost West Coast. Okay, Dave, literally 3 days into the fire, they have 0% of it contained. That's when I was like, whoa, this is super serious. Yeah, it is. Well, we did cover the campfire. That's 40% contained right now. I don't mind telling you how to stop the fires. I just wanted to say that this idea I disagree with. And yeah, he actually is suggesting we take the chemtrail planes and dump chemicals on the fire. Watch this.
Tell you. Let me show you this footage first, and then I'm going to tell you how to stop these fires overnight.
A line of fires in Southern California turning homes to cinders, racing across the landscape faster than firefighters can contain them. Residents like Rebecca Hackett desperate to outrun the flames, filming on Instagram as embers pelted her car.
Please, God. Please let me out.
All right, so we have, what do we have here? We have
Campus overlooking the Pacific Ocean. You can see behind me flame.
Two major fires forcing the mandatory evacuations of more than 200,000 people, including the entire city of Malibu.
We have team coverage on the ground. Let's begin with ABC's senior meteorologist, Rob Mark.
Okay, so now you've made it through this. Let me tell you how to stop the fires overnight. Very simple, guys. Very, very simple. Now, Trump just declared a state of emergency for California, right? So we have a state of emergency. That means something terrible is going on. Now, if we want to stop what's going on, let's do this. Let's take these thousands of chemtrail planes that are spraying us day after day, and let's put them right over California for about 30 minutes. And I bet everything in California goes out immediately. That's right. Take the poisons in the skies and whatever they're spraying on us. Hopefully they're not flammable. If they are flammable, then just refill this stuff with water. Instead of spraying poisons on us over our heads, let's put the fires out in California. Oh.
Okay, so I actually have a slightly different idea. I don't think vapor and anything atomized like chemtrails are going to put out a fire. They'll probably add to it. I would say the best thing to do is to get more of these planes. These are called super scoopers, and they can pull the water out of the ocean relatively quickly and get them right into the fire zone. Even inland, they can move 200 miles inland, and they have the ability to move pretty fast and pretty quick. And we just get a daisy chain of these things, 15 of them, one after another, boom, 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 just pound the fire. And get them if we need more than 15, we'll get more than 15. But this is the idea that will solve the problem. Guaranteed. No question about it. Chemtrail planes need to be stopped. Period. But thank you for your concern. Well, let's be clear. I'll make sure that's flipped into my flip category. Flame retardants. Okay, Tim, if you believe that that's the only way to do this, then you can certainly, load up flame retardants as fast as you can in canisters. But I got to tell you, man, these things pick up water way faster out of the ocean than you get flame retardants. Plus, seawater is not toxic to plants or to grounds, whereas flame retardants are. It's a #1 carcinogenic compound. In fact, it's in our water. Flame retardants have been used by the retards of the Navy for years. Just 10 miles from where I am, the groundwater is so contaminated with flame retardants. Thank you. They're so contaminated with flame retardants that we've got 400 parts per million. 400. And 1 part per million causes cancer. The plane is a Canadair CL-215. It's the Ora Bombardier 415. It's a Canadian plane, and they produce it up there by Canadair, and they are very effective. I would gladly commission Canadair to make these, to get these things built for us ASAP. So consider that the first trade offering for my administration with Canada. We will buy 15 of these things and get them as fast as we can to necessary needed areas. If they have them already, we'll buy whatever they've got in their stock, even used ones. But yeah, they're really efficient and very effective. Yeah, we're wasting our time with everything else right now. And if we don't stop the chemtrails, we're in deep problem area. It's evaporating the coastline and creating a tinderbox of potential flames along California's coast. No, I think the fires can be anywhere. I think they've got the... All right, Tim, we're going to leave you in the show. Yeah. Sorry, Tim. You can't come in here. Who let that guy in? No, the brush... This is far worse than brush abatement. This is a directed energy weapon that was used on the coast of California. This is exactly what they've been using. They've got planes that deliver these things. This is Lockheed Martin's directed energy weapon plane. It can fire off a laser and burn forests at 3,000 degrees. Look at all the forensic arson investigative evidence. It all points to a directed energy weapon. Every single piece of data we've seen. From the melted alloy wheels and refrigerators burning at 3,000 degrees. No forest fire will burn at 3,000 degrees. This is a directed energy weapon using... And they're doing it in our country right now. And our leaders are oblivious to this. So we need a political party to actually challenge these people. Otherwise, we're under attack. And it's going to get worse. They control the two parties. No, that's the cover story they're coming out with. The PG&E had an electrical failure. That's a cover story. I don't buy it. Plus, poor PG&E has to cover the cost of this. This is ridiculous. PG&E should not shoulder the blame for this fire, nor do I see any forensic evidence that verifies it. I see far more forensic evidence that suggests directed energy weapons were used up and down the California coastline. And I want to reiterate that this is a plan to clear the coastline. Everywhere the fires are going on, Misanthropy uncovered this article that shows solid evidence of a rail line concentric with the area of the fires. A proposed rail line up and down the coast of California is exactly the same route as the fires have taken. What's the probability that that's a natural wildfire? 0. 0 probability that that's a natural wildfire. So you're looking at a situation where they are literally destroying the land to grab as much land as they can at next to nothing, pennies on the dollar. And these lasers are being used as a weapon against our country, and we are essentially experiencing right now weather warfare. Now that's my argument. You don't buy it, that's fine. Go ahead and believe whatever you want. But if you find yourself sizzling one night with your energy, with your entire guts being burned out right in front of your eyes, you'll know I was right. And that'll be the last thing you'll ever think about. Meanwhile, you consider that all of this BS, that's fine. Just continue believing it's all BS until you're fried like a little insect. Extra toasty. Oh, what's that little thing in my middle? Oh, that's my belly button getting fried. Ugh. And then goodbye life. Yeah, there are a lot of firefighting aircraft. This little puppy is highly unstable and could easily crash on any forest out there. Much higher mortality rate in helicopters. And it doesn't hold a lot of water. So why would we make this the firefighting vehicle when it's costly and a waste of money? You heard the search and rescue over my head tonight. I had like 3 search and rescue planes take off from our local base heading to Southern California. They're going down to save people. I'm sure of it. Oh, I'm guessing though. I don't really know for sure. Sneaker Pimp 6 Underground. What? They are dangerous, yeah. We got some real women singing Sneaker Pimps. That'll be good. Thanks, chat room. It's a good song. That'll be a good one for tonight. Well, we're heading to that moment, aren't we? Gosh, it's been another 5 hours of broadcasting, 4 recorded. I would love to see a blimp plane retrofitted with a water tank. That would be wonderful. But remember, water's very heavy. It's sometimes easier to fly it and drop it. Water drones. What about drones that pick up little bags of water and drop it? Hundreds of them, you know. You got another prank video? Okay, great. Cool. All right, we'll get right into the videos then. We got fun stuff tonight. Thank you, Add the One. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Technology Thursday is coming to an end, but we will be playing videos into the evening, and you guys can... Aerial footage shows California's fire continues to burn. Yeah, it's terrible. The ongoing fire with 40% containment in the Camp Fire area is indicative of a serious problem. I don't think it's very wise for our president to attack California when they're facing a disaster. That was really a low blow. It shows you his true lack of character. But this is definitely something we could prevent if we make sure that our government is overseeing the airs above California, and if we have full data from our satellites to verify what kind of planes were flying over this region, we could cross-check it with the actual fires themselves. That's what a proper arson investigation would entail, a forensic analysis of the data flights from Flight 24 to see if that directed energy weapon did fly over the area. We would know for sure. Now this has got to have a signature. This plane would have a signature, and we'd be able to see it from satellite if it indeed was the one that triggered the fires. But I seriously believe that all the triggers of fires of the past couple of years in California is a direct result of something as advanced as a directed energy weapons vehicle like this. Well, I think getting water as fast as we can inland is the only way to put out these fires. It's a serious problem. I don't really like how Jerry Brown responded to it, saying this is the new norm. No, it should never be the new norm. He needed to work farther and faster. And had he purchased 15 of these planes, these Super Scoopers, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. And people would be alive today to talk about it. Jerry Brown has got problems. And he's leaving anyways, so... The Bug's Life. Oh, that's, yeah. Some of you actually grew up with that movie. All right. Well, thanks for coming in again, and we'll be back tomorrow with Freedom Friday. Another non-stop experience here at the OK Corral. Yeah, it's kind of amazing, isn't it? We keep doing it. It just keeps going. Let's do it again. Later.
America is ready for a change. A third party is the change we need. Accountability in government, term limits for Congress, media verification, and a fresh approach to fixing our environment. We need a new direction for our nation. Join us in the middle of the political spectrum for our nightly commentary and discussion at America's Third Party.